disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing.
Lobito!
Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Welcome everybody to another Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. This is your friend Mr. BDA, and alongside with me as always my co-host, the one, the only King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Glad you guys could join us on this episode. A lot to talk about, and that is a lot to talk about. People say boxing is dead. Well, there's a lot of news going on, a lot of fights being set up for the end of the year and the beginning of the year 2021. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget, before we get down to the fun, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the like button. And if you want to keep supporting us financially, you can do so via the Patreon page, the PayPal page, or dropping us a super chat during the show. I see we got Gonzalo and Stu already on the line. Fellas, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing, BDA?
Good to have you on board, guys. Gonna be opening up the phone lines. What's that?
So good to be
Nothing
here.
much. Just say hello.
Oh yes, of course, yes. Well, thank you guys for joining us. And like I was saying, we're gonna open up the phone lines soon to get people's opinions on everything that's going on. And like I said, there's a lot to talk about, so stay tuned for that one. Shout out to Blues Boxing in the chat room, PSK, Schizoid Man, Vince Vegas, Jay Perez, Subash Kunwar, and more to come, I am sure. We just got started, so we're going to wait a little bit for the audience to increase as we go along. Like I said, listen, a lot to talk about. There's a recent article here. Who's Butch? Are you sharing the screen?
I'm testing something.
Okay. A recent article that I just came upon here. Well, first of all, somebody said that Dylan White's getting into it with Frank Warren on Twitter. Have any of you heard about this?
Yes, sir.
Hold on, before we continue, shout out to Virtuoso who just donated for the super chat. And he says, congrats to Team Tszyu. Best luck at 154. Ah, yes, Team Tszyu. We're going to talk about that. His win over Jeff Horn, the great Jeff Horn, if you want to call him that way. But yeah, it was a weird fight. It was a weird career for Jeff Horn. We're going to talk about that. But meanwhile, I wanted to mention that the whole thing, apparently Dylan White, for some reason, is getting into it with Frank Warren. And he told him, this is a tweet that he said, he says, Dylan White said, I may have been on my R's for a few seconds, but you have been on your R's for years. Is that a little dig at Frank Warren losing to Matchroom in these past few years? I think so.
Yeah, I don't know what Frank's problem is, though. Why don't you just let these fighters, deal with their defeats without him, sticking the boot in? Dillian White's not his fight. Why does he have to, stick the boot in all the time on fighters? It's just like bitter and twisted. There's no need for it. I mean, the guy just got knocked the fuck out in front of millions of people, and you really need fucking Frank giving us his 2 cents worth. I mean, no, he should have just said, look, I expected, if he doesn't rate Dillian White, then that's fine that he doesn't rate him. But he was making it personal yet again. And like I said, I think it's a bit of a low blow when you do that to a fight that's just been sparked out. I really do. And Dillian White, he's just getting a bit of karma, because I remember him doing it when Wilder got knocked out. So it works both ways. Do you know what I mean? So you got to be very careful about mocking people when they get slept, because you could be the next one sleeping. So that'd be my advice.
What did Frank Warren say? Because I missed it. I didn't hear what he said.
Check your messages. I sent you a picture of the Twitter
Okay, he said,
fight that they were having.
good morning, Dylan. It's Wednesday in case you've missed a few days. Oh, come on. See that? Yeah, that big talk.
Yeah,
for
but
a guy-
look at what Dylan White said. Yeah.
No need for it.
You know what? It's interesting, man, because Frank Warren, first of all, Stu, you said he wanted to chime in with his 2 cents. This ain't 1999 anymore, man. It's more like 1 cent now for Frank Warren, because I mean, he really needs everything he's got now with Matchroom having taken over the UK boxing industry.
Yeah.
But also, I if I were Dylan White, I gotta tell you, I'd be a little bit careful about if messing with Frank the Bullet Dodger Warren, because I mean, I guarantee you, if Frank Warren would have been hit with that uppercut from Povetkin, he probably would have gotten up, just like he got
Frank
up with those bullets.
Frank would have ate that shot like Pac-Man and landed his own.
yeah, he probably would have. But
Yeah.
it's a bit of a
Frank should worry about putting on decent cards, instead of worrying about what Dillian White's doing. I mean, because let's be real, it's been a while since we got a decent one out of him. I mean, Daniel DeBar's had about 5 different opponents recently. I mean, it's just embarrassing. I mean, if I was Frank, I'd worry about putting a fucking card on that 5 people would actually tune in to watch. That'd be a start. Well, it's true, isn't it, man? I mean, listen, Joyce and DeBar was made. Now it's cancelled. Now DeBar's had about 5 different opponents since. All of them pulled out. I mean, Frank changes the fucking posters every week, doesn't he? I mean, come on, man.
Are you saying he should retire?
Who, Frank?
Yeah.
No, I don't mean he should retire. I don't just. He needs to up his game a bit, though. Yeah, fucking. At least with Bob, he's putting on decent cards. He might be old, but he's putting on decent, good fighters, isn't he? I mean, Frank's just feeding us fucking fish food.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a low blow for Frank Warren to come out and say, "Hey, Dylan, are you awake yet?" It's like, come on, but did you forget anything?
Did you see the tweet that I sent you? He said Dylan White said, "Fucking fish eyes snake."
Okay,
Fish eyes snake.
But why did he say that?
I don't know.
I think because Frank Warren did an interview with IFL TV. It's basically, he just put it this way, he didn't have a lot of good things to say about Dillian White. But this is the same Frank Warren that tried to sign Dillian White a few months back. So this is what Frank's about. Frank's very bitter and twisted, man. He really is. I mean, maybe he should step aside and just watch in the background and let his son take over. His son seems to. Yeah, his son might bring a few fresh ideas to the table, because Frank's still stuck in the fucking early 90s, isn't he?
Exactly. Maybe even the 70s. But look, if I were anybody else in the vicinity of Frank Warren, I would watch out for Frank Warren, because nobody who gets shot in the head and survives it can be normal. I mean, that's a guy you watch out for. Okay, and I think Dylan White would be ill-advised to go after. I know he's a professional boxer and all that, but Frank Warren, who knows whose contacts he has, and maybe with Dylan White one day if he messes with Frank Warren, he can realize that, hey, maybe a left uppercut from Povetkin isn't the worst thing that can happen to me, if you know what I mean. So
yeah. I think Frank's got a bit of clout about him. The guy used to fucking promote bare knuckle fights between Lenny McLean and Roy Shaw and all them sort of boys back in the day. So he's definitely a underground guy, shall we say? And I think, yeah, he's probably got a lot of contacts. I mean, this guy's been shot in the fucking head and all sorts, and he's still here, isn't he? So,
Call him Bullet Tooth Tony.
Boris, it's Boris from Snatch.
Boris of late, yeah.
Yeah, it's Boris from Snatch, isn't it? You fucking shoot him, he gets up. You run him over, he gets up. It's just there's no getting rid of this guy. Frank's a bit like Terminator 2. Even if you blew him up, he'd mould himself back together, wouldn't it? The liquid would form back in, and he'd form back into Frank again, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's not human, man. Synthetic alloy. But you know what?
A robot.
One thing you got to commend Dylan White for about this is anytime you get knocked out the way he did, it's embarrassing. You know, you got, especially when you were winning and it was a big fight. But to his credit, according to Boxing Scene, he's come out and he says that he's very excited for the rematch. In fact, he says, I've never been excited for a fight before in my life. I was excited for the first fight. Now it's like turning pro all over again. I'm buzzing. Now, I don't know if he's, you know, doing that to hype himself up, if he really means it, blah, 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 blah. But at least he's saying it. And if we take it, what he's saying at face value, that's the mentality you should have after a knockout loss. Look, listen, I was beating this guy, dropped him twice, was on my way to winning, and I got caught. It happens. It's boxing. It's you know, it's Floyd Mayweather. Everybody gushes over Mayweather's undefeated record. Guess what? He fought super safety style, man. And he's one of those few guys that escaped his career, just like Joe Kozagi, with an O on his record. But those guys are few and far in between. Everybody else, this type of thing in the ring, it's going to happen to you. And I like the mentality, White. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree, PDA. Not all brutal knockouts are going to end your career. Sometimes you just get knocked out, then you can recover. It's just like one of those things. People nowadays like to relate a brutal knockout with a fighter being done. Put a fork in him. Not always.
Exactly.
I mean, so people are comparing the Dylan White loss to the Wilder loss against Fury, but it's, again, completely different fucking fights. Wilder was outboxed. He didn't do jack shit. He got destroyed. Dylan White was winning the fight. And he even dropped Povetkin. So, you know, it's not the different. Again, White is going to come into the rematch thinking, you know what, I was winning the fight. I just got to, you know, be more careful. Do some little changes. But when it comes to Wilder.
Yeah, of course, man.
Go ahead.
And look, Dillian White can make a couple of adjustments. And let's be real, Povetkin's going to be even older next time around. He's not going to get a burst of energy from somewhere. You know, he's just going to be even older, Povetkin. So, yeah, of course, I mean, look, Joshua got pieced up by Ruiz, made a few adjustments, got the job done on the night. Maybe that's what Dillian White might have to do. I don't know. I don't think sitting mid-range trading hooks with Povetkins and uppercuts is a good thing to do for Dillian White. If I was Dillian White, I'd just try and use my range. I know the jab's not the best, but do what you can with it and just keep it at range and try and empty the tank of Povetkin. Because once it gets to the 6th, 7th, you've seen Povetkin just he shoots his bolt and he's gone, mate. He's there for the taking, but he's still dangerous in the first 6. So that'd be my advice to Dillian White. I fancy him to get the job done in the second fight. I really do. I mean, he was doing, you know, he was winning that fight. He was, and quite comfortably, weren't he? And just got caught with a massive shot. But this is the problem with Dillian White. I mean, Dillian White's he's not that fighter that can fight on the back foot and keep it at range and keep himself safe. He's going to walk into something, and that's the problem. But you know, we'll see.
It's not the end.
The only reason I'm picking Dillian White the second time round because I think Povetkin's going to be even old. Well, of course he is. He's going to be even older, even slower. Because once you get to that age, you just get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, I agree, man. Look, this is the heavyweight division, man. We've seen throughout the history of boxing, heavyweight guys get starched, they come back, and they seem to react better at knockouts, now that I think about it, than the smaller guys. You know, if a smaller guy gets iced out cold, it's hard. I don't know, for some reason it's hard for them. But for heavyweight boxing, it seems like it's almost a norm. Like you're expected to get stopped at some point. And
all these fighters know they're one shot away from it going wrong, and that's heavyweight boxing for you. It's just that's why there's so much pressure on the heavyweights because They know it don't matter. They could have everything in front of them, like Joshua. They could be the poster boy. 3 belts round their waist. You know, looking at invincible at times, and then you just go in there. You took your eye off the ball. You go in there with someone like Andy Ruiz, and you get your ass whooped.
Exactly.
So, I mean, just one shot changed it. So this is the thing with heavy, just one shot. Because Joshua was winning that fight with Ruiz, wasn't he? You know, until he got caught with that shot.
Yeah.
So that's the heavyweight division for you. But that's why people like it so much, you know, because anyone's got a chance. Even the fat man that comes in the ring, he's got a chance, isn't he?
Talking about fat guys, Mr. BD, I want to read this. What Andy Ruiz said about Dylan White. He said,
I thought you were going to say, sorry, I thought you were going to say, speaking of fat guys, hey, BDA, you need to lose some weight or something like that.
Yeah, lose some fucking weight. I was so happy that Dylan White fucking had his ass knocked the fuck out. A lot of fucks in there by Andy Ruiz. He says, because he doesn't have respect for the fighters. That's what gets me pissed off. And I'm like, wait, talking about respect for the fighters, right? So he's angry at Dylan White for not having respect for the fighters. I don't know what he's talking about. Andrew Ruiz doesn't have respect for the fans, all right? Because people pay to see him fight against Anthony Joshua in that rematch, and he came in even fatter. He even admits that he didn't train. So where's the respect towards the fans there? You know, this guy has the balls to start talking about respect.
He's got the titties too. But yeah, man, what the fuck?
Man.
Guys, what do you think about that? Ruiz, the guy who showed up looking like the Michelin man in there against Joshua in the fight of his life, and he has the goal to say that Dylan White doesn't respect the fighters. Well, what do you guys think about that?
100% doble cara, hypocrite, two-face.
Wait, doble cara because he's fat, or
Dos Caras Junior?
Oh, okay, Dos Caras. As in, okay, yeah. I thought because like he's so
use
fat.
That word because here in the Philippines they use it the same too, like in Spanish.
Right.
Two-face.
The Gemini.
Andy Ruiz is in no position to mock anyone after that performance that I saw from him the last fight. It was fucking horrendous. It was embarrassing. You know, I mean, that guy, if I was him, I wouldn't even be on social media after that performance. So mocking Dillian White, another tasteless thing to do, because look, I can understand if someone like Fury does it, because Fury's in a position now where he's top of his game and he's the man. Andrew Ruiz is coming off a fucking loss, so who's he to mock anyone? Frank Warren hasn't put on a decent card for ages. He's a fucking embarrassment. Who's he to mock anyone? You know, so all these people that are mocking Dillian White have got fucking. They need to look at their own careers and what they're doing.
Yeah,
maybe that's the point.
Andrew Ruiz didn't even try to win that fight. He even admitted that he didn't train. So come on, man. Where's the respect there for the fans? This guy, I'm tired of hearing about. And then he wants, you know what? He's planning on fighting Chris Arreola.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Way, I'm showing a picture here of the Wayne for the Joshua rematch where Ruiz didn't even take his shirt off, and he's got a tank top, sombrero on, sweatpants. He looks like the other day I was driving around my neighborhood and I saw a guy on his lawn watching TV, and it looked like Andy Ruiz, fucking tank top, tattoos, and just drinking a bunch of beers. That's what Ruiz looked like in the rematch. Looked like he was about to watch TV with a bunch of nachos instead of fighting for a world championship with the most important fight of his life. The guy's got some balls, man.
Who in their right mind wants to see Ruiz v Arreola? I mean, if you're calling for that fight, then you really have to look in the mirror and evaluate your life. Because I ain't even fucking. If that fight was in midday, I wouldn't watch it. Never mind midnight. Terrible fight.
I mean, it might
Arreola,
be.
I mean, come on, man.
You might get some Mexicans. You might get some Mexicans tuning in for it because it might be entertaining, whatever. But
no.
I mean, yeah. For as long as
nobody's watching it. Come on, Mexicans are gonna. Mexicans. What do Mexicans think about Ruiz? Well, I'm Mexican. I'll tell you what. I don't respect the guy, man.
No.
That was embarrassing.
Unless
and then he admits that he didn't even train.
Fuck, right. I mean, what is Arreola going to do?
And Arreola, yeah. I don't have anything against Arreola. I mean, he was.
No, I don't. I like Arreola as a guy. Yeah. But we're talking about boxing here. We're talking about fighting. He's fucking useless. And that's just it.
In his last fight against Kaunaki, he threw a lot of punches to include both of them, the other guy and him. But this is just not a high-profile fight.
No, and Arreola's if on the way out, he should be out by now. He gave us what he had, and that's it. He should be retired by now. Andrew Ruiz.
By the way, he's
trying to
39.
rebuild his sorry, but Andre Ruiz should be trying to rebuild his career and gain some respect from the fans. But fighting Arreola isn't going to help at all.
By the way, Chris Arreola is 39 years old, man. It seems like yesterday when he was coming up and being as an undefeated prospect.
Yeah, but he looks.
Let's
But the
go.
thing is, he looks and fights like a 139-year-old.
Exactly, yeah.
That's the
No,
problem.
But that's
So
what I'm
look-
saying. Even in the heavyweight division, where at 39 you can still make something happen. He's pretty much done.
Look, at 39, you've got to be in good shape, like Vladimir Klitschko. Well, Arreola's no Vladimir. Let's be real. I mean, when you hitting your late 30s, early 40s, you have to be a dedicated fighter. You know, you have to live the game. You know, fucking not don't drink, keep in good shape all year round, eat the right foods. That's how you last long in boxing. But when you're eating tacos and fucking San Miguel's every night, I don't know, man.
Andy Ruiz was supposed to take that fight against Dillian White. Imagine if he would have knocked him out just like Alexander Povetkin did. He would have started gaining some clout again.
Yeah, some fans back, yeah. And by the way, before we continue, shout out to Chris K for the contribution. He says, Andy, más frijoles, Ruiz. Oh, come on, more frijoles. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution in his comment. And shout out to OG Boogie, that is G Boogie, who says, Andy Ruiz Jr., can I talk about Dillian White? He's half a chalupa away from 400 pounds.
Absolutely, man. It's a chalupa away. By the way, thank you, G Boogie. And Titone Toledo saying he still has respect for Andre Ruiz, first to win a heavyweight championship, I guess. We have a lot of champions in many weights, but not heavyweight. I don't care, man. Whatever respect he won, he lost it in that rematch.
Yeah, you can lose respect. You know what I mean?
You can lose respect. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I felt I'm a fucking cold longer than Ruiz had his belt for.
yeah. You know what, man? Here's a different point of view, though. Ruiz is coming back against Arreola, and people are saying, "Oh, he should fight a better opponent." Should he really fight a better? Does he deserve a shot? Shouldn't he go back to the lower ranks, take a guy out like Arreola, and see how he looks? And if he looks good, then okay, he's back in our good graces.
Listen, I mean, if he don't look good against Arreola, he might as well fucking hang up the gloves.
Guess what? He might not look good, man.
Hey, would he even?
Well, hang up the fucking gloves then. Hang them up before you do get hurt.
Yeah. No, it's
if
true,
he wasn't
man.
motivated to fight AJ, right, and defend his heavyweight championship, how the fuck is he gonna be motivated to fight Chris Arreola?
I'm surprised he ain't calling out Kevin Bum Bum Johnson and them guys.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Surprised he's not calling out George Foreman. Now, it's interesting though. If we stick to the Dillian White thing, he keeps getting hate. I'm looking at a comment here from in the message board of Boxing Scene, and one guy goes, "Dillian White, you are one loss away from driving an Uber, cheater." So he's calling him a cheater and saying he's one step away from driving an Uber.
Wilder fans, American Wilder fans.
And then another guy says, "Look, another fight outside the backyard of White's promoter's house, hardly impartial. The commentators were salivating at every tiny move from White, ignoring the work that Povetkin was doing. I hope he gets smashed again. The Sky Sports commentary team should be ashamed. This isn't your local football team. Call the fight without your rose-tinted glasses. This is why the UFC does a better job on commentary." So he's not expecting fairness next time in the rematch if they hold it in
Who said that?
Some guy on Boxing Scene.
Well, like I said, the thing about the knockout, it doesn't matter whose backyard it's in, who's commentating. When you get the KO, it doesn't matter, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So that's what you've got to do when you're going to fight these guys in their backyard. You've got to go there and look for the stoppage. I know it's not always the case. You can't always go and get the knockout, but you've got to at least try and get the knockout, because these places you're not going to get the nod on the cards. So that'd be my advice to any fighter that fights away from home. You can't go there fighting like Andre Durrell did against Froch, and people you can't go. That's not going to get you wins.
Just because they told us it's in the backyard, but you can't really tell the difference if it's in the backyard or not.
Look, it was in a boxing ring. It was in a fucking boxing ring, and there's no excuses here, mate. Dillian White got knocked out by a world-class shot. It happens.
And the truth, the setup for this one seemed better than the other ones. The background music, it was just a whole better setup for the bubble.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, look, listen. Even Povetkin now's come out and said, look, this wasn't a lucky punch. His promoter said he's been working on that type of punch. And like I said, the day after the fight, Dillian White was buying the feints. So you could tell that Povetkin was setting him up for something through those feints.
You setting him up for, because he blindsided Dillian White by actually coming from a strange angle and then come underneath with the uppercut. And Dillian White didn't see it. And that's what knocks you out. You know, it was definitely work done. You could tell that weren't just one where you just swing from the ankles and hope it lands like Wilder does. That's a lucky punch. But this one, you could tell it was planned and executed very, very well. Let's just say that it was probably the best knockout I've seen for a long time. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, Dillian White was on the end of it. And
yeah, unfortunately for him, yeah. But that like again, like we keep saying, that's heavyweight boxing for you, man. It's you blink once and you can do everything right and still get caught.
Yeah. But that's what I said before. I said Povetkin might be old, his tank might be emptying quicker these days, his punch resistance might be going. But his skills and his experience is still there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And while he's in there, he's dangerous still. And that's the problem with Dillian White. Dillian White was comfortable winning the fight, but when you got a guy like Povetkin in there, you take your eye off the ball for 1 second, the next minute you wake up and the fight's over.
Absolutely.
And,
hey, Mr. BDA, the phones are open if you want to open them.
Yeah, I opened them. And people, yes, the phone lines are open.
I got more news here.
More news.
Hughie Fury wants a Povetkin rematch. If Povetkin beats Dillian White again, Hughie Fury says that he wants that rematch, and he says Povetkin never hurt me. So
because he was on his fucking toes for 12 rounds. That's why.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, even against what's his name, New Zealander, Joseph Parker, he was moving constantly. I mean, he's got good footwork, just like Tyson Fury, but he just doesn't have
sit down on his punches.
Exactly.
They get off me punches. He's on the move before he's even landed. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't. You're not going to stop people or hurt people if you're not sitting on your punches and planting your feet. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to do it on your toes. You know, and that's Hughie Fury's constantly on the back foot, constantly on his toes, constantly looking to move, and just not sitting on his punches. And just a dreadful fight to watch. I'm going to be honest. Terrible to watch. I've never ever watched a Hughie Fury fight and thought, yeah, I've got value for money there. Never.
Exactly. He says his statement was, I'm dying for a Povetkin rematch. Let me tell you something. When I watch Hughie Fury, I'm falling asleep, man. So it's a form of dying. I mean, because I don't want to see this guy again.
Listen, mate. Watch too many Hughie Fury fights. You could be in one of them Steven Seagal comas in fucking Art the Kid.
Yeah, it's exactly
6 fucking years. You know what I mean? You wake up, you got a beard down your ankles.
Yeah,
you wake up after the fight with long hair and everything and a beard. You go, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, you wake up and Joshua's like 60, isn't it? And it's fucking on the commentary team.
Listen, forget about this heavyweight. Forget about these heavyweights, man. It's when we get Wilder Fury 3, then maybe we'll start talking about it. I also wanted to mention Tszyu fought last night, or this morning rather, or here over at our North American time. Tszyu drops and stops Jeff Horn to force an 8th round corner retirement. Tszyu, who's 25 years old, the son of Hall of Famer, former champ at 140 pounds, Tszyu. Now, Tszyu doesn't have his father's power, might not even have his talent, but let me tell you something. He looked pretty good beating up Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn, his usual self, trying to do what he did against Manny Pacquiao 2 years ago, trying to spark up the same glory he did in Australia when he beat Pacquiao, jumping in, trying to make it rough on the inside. And even then, he didn't have any success. Tszyu was beating him up on the inside. Then he started going to the body, dropped him twice. Finally, in the 8th round, they called it quits. So the Australians are, first of all, they're very happy about this because now they can set up a Tszyu versus, what was the guy's name? Safara? The guy that gave Kell Brook a good fight. The male stripper. He used to be a male stripper, and they can do a little bit of an event over there. And
The mouse.
yeah, he was a male stripper. Yeah.
I know he was.
And by the way, there was a crowd. There was a crowd in Australia. So they're doing events with people.
The Australians got that shit under control, man.
You know, man, I think everybody should just say, hey, let's take on COVID head on and just open everything up. And you'll see nothing bad will happen. That's my philosophy. But what do you guys think about this? What happened to Jeff Horn? He had that win over Manny Pacquiao. It was a Cinderella story.
Robbery.
And that was, it was a Cinderella story.
You can't go to rob the same bank twice. You know, he's had his bit of luck, and that's it. You know, Jeff Horn is just not. He's a very tough fighter, and let's be real, he's exciting, but he's just not good enough to beat the. I mean, let's be real. Forget that Manny Pacquiao win. He didn't win that fight. Just didn't win that fight. You know, he's getting bashed up quite bad in his recent fights, and it's probably time for him to hang him up, I'd say, before he gets seriously out.
Well, he's 32 years old. He says, I'm not done.
Yeah, but 32 at that weight is an old guy, especially when you've took that sort of punishment. You know, it doesn't matter if you're 32 or 42. If you're 42 and hardly took a shot in your career, you're going to be a lot fresher than the 32-year-old that's been pounded all over the place for his fucking career. Do you know what I mean? So it's what's in the tank left, and I don't think Jeff Horn's got a lot left. I mean, what was the last fight? Who was it? Crawford beat the living shit out of him. Who else beat him up recently?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Crawford beat the hell out of the guy, and like you're saying, I mean, when you're 32 and your whole thing is you have no boxing skills, your whole thing is just to rush in and throw punches and headbutt and shit like that. I mean, at 32, you're an old 32, you know.
Of course you are, mate. And like I said, these young welterweights are not the fucking. Some of these guys are big, strong, young lads. Do you know what I mean? Jeff Horn.
I've been hearing
he's not going to beat these guys.
I've been hearing about this Tszyu guy for a while now, but of course not in the big leagues. I think he's been putting in. Well, he has putting in work with top level world champions like Manny Pacquiao back in the day, maybe about 2 years ago when he fought Keith Thurman, and even before that, many years ago, this guy's been training with world class competition. So that's his developmental process. Has been good. So now that he's stepping up to the big leagues, I'm pretty sure we're getting a well-rounded fighter.
Look, mate, if he's anything like his dad, he's going to be a problem for anyone, isn't he? Let's be real.
He's got solid skills, man. I mean,
rarely do fucking sons do anything close to what their fathers accomplish.
No, but look, that's true. Actually, it's very rare you'll see a son that accomplishes what the father does, because you know why? Because boxing's about hunger, and when your dad's a fucking world champion, you've usually grown up with a silver spoon in your mouth. That's why I give Eubank Junior credit, because he was a little, everything as a kid he wanted, but he chose boxing, and he's as tough as they fucking get. Let's be real. Do you know what I mean? And he trains well. He's arrogant and he don't want to learn. That's his problem. But you know, it's very rare you'll get, like, Floyd's probably the only one I know that's probably achieved better than his dad.
Chavez Jr.
No, what, ahead of Chavez Sr.? Get out of here, man.
Yeah, you know what, man? When you see a guy, the son of a famous fighter, and at least he's putting in the work in the gym, that's a good sign. But when it's a guy like Chavez and you see him, I don't want to go to the gym today, I'm going to train, like Steve Kim said, I'm going to train in my kitchen, that's a worrying sign right there.
But that's the thing about Eubank. Always comes in tremendous shape. Always look. You can tell he's living the sport, and it's quite easy for him to. He could have easily gone the other way. I've got mates that are good fighters, have got amateur careers, but because I've had parents with a few quid, they just haven't got that hunger, so they're always pulling out of fights. They just don't fancy it, and I think that's one thing about boxing. You've got to have hunger. Do you know what I mean? If you haven't got it, then.
Yeah, if you have a plan,
Eubank won't do shit. Well, they say won't do nothing.
Who said that?
I'm not saying when Eubank's doing shit. We're not talking about whether he'd do shit or not. The fact is, he's always in good shape. Yeah, and he's as tough as they get. He's not, this is a silver spoon kid, but he's as tough as they get. Why don't that guy in the fucking comment section go in there? I'll have a few rounds sparring with him, see how he does. Do you know what I mean? So That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day,
Chop
we're talking
Chop
about
Corley, he's got
we're
a
talking
son
about
and he's
sons and
always posting
fathers.
videos. Chop Chop Corley's got a son and he's always posting videos. The kid's like 5 years old. And he's like a little beast. And he trains him
Yeah,
everything.
Well, if that one
Yeah,
doesn't work out, Chop Chop, I think he's got like 17 kids or something. So if one doesn't work out, he can always put in like 5 other kids, see if they work out in the gym. But by the way, guys, phone lines are open. So give us a call. Tell us what you think. Yeah, you know what? With Jeff, by the way, if anybody, I found a video here. It's this is from Aratorius that he did after the Pacquiao Horn fight. It's called "This is How Corruption Looks: Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn," and he shows you all the fouls that Jeff Horn committed. Jeff Horn, I'll say it again, man. He's like Ricky Hatton without the skill and without the punching technique. Because at least Ricky Hatton knew how to deliver good punching blows and work his way in there and had good footwork. Jeff Horn is just, let me jump in, see what happens, rough you up on the inside. And if I can't rough you up on the inside, whoops, I'm out of ideas. He didn't even have any defense either outside against Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu would just line him up, pum, 1-2. And the guy's there with his hands down, Jeff Horn. No guard, no, maybe a little bit of head movement, but that was it. I mean, it's amazing that he beat, it's amazing. Think about it. This guy beat, at least on paper, Manny Pacquiao. Cotto couldn't do it. Margarito couldn't do it. Shane Mosley couldn't do it. Marquez had to fucking fight him 4 times before he finally got it.
Yeah, but to be
This
fair,
guy's got to win.
Jeff Horn fought a shadow of the man that them guys fought.
Yeah, that's true.
He avenged the Zarafa fight as well. He dropped Zarafa 2 times. Close fight.
Yeah.
But then again, he gets beat in the 8th round by Crawford and gets destroyed also by. So it's hard to place a finger on. Well, obviously he looks very limited. That's for.
Yeah, hold on. Yo, whoever's caller 419, you gotta mute the speakers in the background because we can hear ourselves. All right. So if you can't mute them, I can't put you through. All right, 419, is that you?
Hey, what's up, BDA?
What's up? Oh, is this Titone?
Yeah.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, just calling in, Hey, hey, BDA, you was gone for kind of a long time, and yeah, when you was gone, it was getting crazy. But
what do you mean?
The last time when I called the show,
What do you mean?
The last time when I called the show, we was debating about Chavez and Taylor, and and I said some things that was facts, and some of the guys on the panel were saying it's not true, and then someone called in and played a recording to show that it was true, and the junk talk stopped, but still junk talk still going,
Hey, Tito, you keep saying that I was Tito. You keep saying that I was saying that it was a bad stoppage, and I keep telling you in the chat. I always said that it was the correct call from the referee in that Chavez Taylor fight.
Yeah,
so let me just clarify.
I'm on your
this.
Side. Let me clarify this BDA. I don't remember having been on that episode or in that conversation. So
no, you wasn't there. You wasn't there, BDA.
Oh, okay.
Hey, but Bucho knows the truth. Hey, but what I was calling in is just what you're talking today. Giving the other side on Ruiz.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way I look at it, Ruiz still has his fans, man. Hey, and look after that Parker fight, man, Ruiz was done, man, mentally done. Hey, some people, they can get a title shot in their second fight, and some people will get a title shot in their 50th fight. And when Ruiz lost, man, he was done. He and then he beat that European guy, and then boom, the boxing god sent him a shot, and man, he won. Man, instant millionaire, life changing.
That's a good
the way
point.
I look, hey, look at his life changed for his family, for him, everything that he wanted.
Yeah, but he could have had even more.
Yeah.
If he was hungry,
the dreams,
he could have had even more. He could have had even more.
Came true.
Hold on.
Hey, now let me go now.
He is hungry
let
though.
Me go now.
Thank you.
So look at.
Let him go.
Yeah, he was hungry, all right.
Ruiz,
Let him go.
Yeah, he could have did better. He could have fought, but look at. Let's see that happen twice in a row before all this talk gets started on. He's not trying. He's not. Hey, I'll tell you this. I know Reynoso had to look him in the eye and say, "Hey, are you ready to fight with me?" And if Reynoso accepted him, he believes Ruiz. So we see. So we're gonna see, right? So that's that side on that, right? That's just saying on that before you know you just throw Ruiz away.
Listen, here's my question to you, T-Tone, because you're a man of the people, you're a salt of the earth type of guy. You can only buy so many pay-per-views out there, and you can only subscribe to so many sports services and all that, and applications, DAZN, ESPN Plus, Fox Sports. Let's say Andy Ruiz comes back, and you got to pay for him. Okay, you got to pay to watch his big titties. Do you have confidence that he's gonna? Are you willing to pay money, knowing that he might show up overweight, without motivation, and really just give you a dud? Are you do you have that much faith? Do you have that much faith in Andy Ruiz, T-Tone?
Hey, now look it depends on who he's fighting. The only thing that I have is the zone, and then I go over to my cousin Rob's and see the rest of the fights. But yeah, I'm gonna pay to see Ruiz fight a contender or a champion. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but you're not getting BDA's point. You're not getting BDA's point. Let me get in here. You're not getting BDA's point because if he could, hang on a minute. You've said your piece. Let me say mine. He couldn't get up for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
So what makes you think he's going to get up for a contender?
Exactly.
Stu,
I disagree with you though, Stu. You said he was hungry. I think he's real hungry.
Yeah, he's fucking hungry, all right. Especially when he's in the KFC and McDonald's.
Snickers.
Now, if it happens twice in a row, Stu, then you're right. But if Ruiz comes out like he did in the last two fights before that, after Parker, so we see, you just can't go off of one fight. The rematch with Joshua.
So, T-Tone,
and here's another thing I wanted to settle on the show. There's Box. He's talking, junk in the chat. He's saying that I said that Ruiz. I gave her an excuse that Joshua only won because it was a big ring. Mm-hmm. Man, that's junk talk. I said that was one of the reasons why Ruiz couldn't catch him. But no, man. Joshua won the fight. Hey, my son put me straight on that. He goes, Dad, if you worked real hard for all them belts and you lost, wouldn't you fight the fight to make sure you won and then maybe go fight like you used to do? Like you used to. So, it was up to Ruiz to stop that, but he didn't. But,
well, you can't argue with that logic.
And you still respect the guy. Okay. Hey, why did Andrew Ruiz come into that fight even heavier?
Man, you have to ask Ruiz that.
What do you think? What do you think happened?
What do you think happened?
This is the third time. Instant millionaire, life changing, dreams, everything he wanted for himself and his family, man. Hey,
Rocky 3.
Like even what the old Marvelous Hagler said, it's hard to do it. When you're waking up with your breakfast in bed and your silk sheets.
So in Andy Ruiz's case,
is this fucking Andy Ruiz apologist or something?
Yeah, come on, just admit it.
Admit the guy come in like a fat piece of shit, and he was useless on the night.
Well, look at. Did Joshua knock out Ruiz? Did Ruiz run out of breath? Ruiz was there ready to scrap, man. He just couldn't catch him.
He was ready to eat scraps. That's what he was ready to.
No, come on. He couldn't move because he was too fat. He couldn't move because he was too fat.
Hey, hey, if it happens twice in a row, then I can't say nothing, about damn. But man, you can't judge it off of just one fight.
You know what? In a way,
after he became an instant millionaire.
In a way, I can respect. In a way, I can respect. In a way, I can respect a guy like T-Tone who's willing to give. He's not willing to write off a guy after one fuck up. And sometimes it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Some guys are pretty critical and demand a lot, and other guys go, you know what? Let's wait and see. The guy's a human being. He made a mistake. He deserves to be forgiven by the fans and by the Lord, provided that he gives us a performance worthy of our hard-earned money. That's all I got to say.
Against Arreola. Against Arreola?
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on.
If Reynoso lets him in,
Come on,
I got confidence in that.
There you go.
That's all I can say on that, right?
There you go, yeah.
So, and then we can talk after the next fight, after Ruiz's next fight.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Anyway, Tito, we got to move on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And yeah, all right, B-Day, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you for calling in, man. Always great as always.
Panel.
Great as always, Tito. Thank you for
Bye-bye.
calling in, man. All right. Take it easy, man.
I don't get the apologist, the Ruiz apologist. Just admit that, you lost some respect. It's enough. Listen. You can lose. You can have a bad night, but if I see that the boxer is trying to win the fight, then I can understand. Like, listen, I'll give you an example. AJ got stopped by Andre Ruiz, but he was trying during the fight. He went down, got back up. At some point, he just said, "Okay, just don't have it." But he did get back up. Andre Ruiz, come on.
Even Wilder when he was getting the living shit kicked out of him by Tyson Fury, was still trying to land shots. I don't mind that, but when someone curls up in a ball, and calls it a day, that's when I can't accept that. Just like Andre Durrell when he did it, just like Zab Judah, all these guys that try and quit and try and find a way out, I never forgive them. They probably don't give a shit whether I forgive them or not, but I'm telling you now. I don't like fighters that quit. I'd rather them go swinging and get knocked the fuck out. Because let's be real, everyone's they don't want to get hurt. But look, they know the risks when they're signing up to this game, and they're getting paid very good for it. Let's be real. So you've got a duty to perform in front of the boxing. That's the way I look at it. And that's why a lot of fighters recently, not so much now because there's a new generation coming through that seem to be a bit more exciting, but that last generation with Floyd and all them there was a lot of boring back foot slick fighters that were very talented but just didn't bring the numbers in because no one wants to watch that anymore. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you've got a duty to perform.
Yeah, boxers.
Do you feel bad for all these Saudi Arabians that paid a lot of money for that shit fight?
Yeah, I mean, Andy Ruiz. The next time Andy Ruiz goes to Saudi Arabia, he probably will never return. So that's. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's going to return.
He's going to return. Missing persons list.
Yeah, he remember when he said he didn't feel safe and he wanted to take the
but you don't mind fucking going to Mexico, sniffing coke on the fucking streets of
wait a minute.
Mexico City. Get out of here, man.
By the way, shout out to Unrivaled who's in the chat. Unrivaled, if you want to jump on, just let me know on the Discord. Let's go to the phone lines real quick. We got 757. You're on the air. 757.
What's up, everybody? This is G Boogie.
Oh, G Boogie, how you doing, man?
How's everybody doing? Greetings and salutations to you.
Absolutely fantastic, man. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind was I don't know what Ketone Toledo was talking about, being apologistic to Andy Ruiz Jr. Man, first of all, he did the raza bad, bro. He did the Mexican race. I'm telling him, I want you to listen, T-Tone. He did the Mexican race badly. He went from a high, and then he just fell into a pit of hell. And he's been through. Let me tell you how many trainers he's been through. He's been through Freddie Roach. He's been through. I think Abel Sanchez had him once. He's been through the guy that he fired after he lost to Joshua, and now he's in Eddie Reynoso. Come on, man. Stop giving excuses for that fat bastard. Look, he's like 2 pounds short of eating carne asada in a taco from being 400 pounds. All right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's. That's exactly why I never liked Ricky Hatton. When all the Brits, Ricky Hatton. No, not me. I didn't like that guy because I used to see the shape he used to blow up in between fights, and it was embarrassing. He used to think it was funny being photographed taking a kebab, looking about fucking 20 stone. He was a comedian and sitting there making everyone laugh, drinking with the lads. I ain't got time for that, man. And then he wonders why when he goes in there with Pacquiao and Floyd, he gets embarrassed. I like fighters that that's what I mean. Say we like about Floyd, but he's in shape all year round, and that's why he lasted as long as he did, and that's why he was unbeaten. As simple as that. Because obviously he's got the talent, but you've still got to have the work rate and the hunger. He still had it. Well, you got Ricky Hatton in the pub playing darts, eating kebabs. I mean, it's embarrassing to watch. That's why I'm just not a Ricky Hatton fan. Never have been.
There you go. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I was a Ricky Hatton fan. He was a good natured.
I was a fan.
He was a good natured guy. But yeah, the blowing up in weight in between fights didn't do him any favors. And look at him now. That he was playing a couple of years ago. He was playing at a charity soccer game, and I thought that for sure that we're gonna put him as the goalkeeper because he wouldn't have to do much just to block the whole thing. No, instead he was playing. I think he was playing in midfield or something. I was like, what the fuck is it like? How can you be a professional boxer your whole most of your life, and then just completely go the other way and just turn into a fat 5'6"?
That Pacquiao fight fucked him up mentally.
Yeah, I think so.
But the thing is, though, he was always blowing up in between fights. I mean, the guy was having to lose. The guy was having to lose 20 pounds, and 25 pounds at times, 30 pounds even at times. I mean, his camp was more about losing weight than preparing for all-time greats. And let's be real. Tszyu was his moment, but Tszyu was past his best. Let's be honest. I mean, Tszyu in his prime would have fucking pieced Ricky Hatton up, and everyone here knows it. I mean, Tszyu just didn't have it in the tank. It was a bit like Klitschko that night with Joshua when he tried to dig deep. When he was in the trenches, there was nothing there, and that's why he retired. And that's why Klitschko, just nothing there. Hatton fought a shot to pieces. Tszyu. Yeah, it was a great win, a great moment for British boxing, but then after that, struggling, isn't you?
Yeah. So G Boogie, so you're saying Tito Toledo did not do the raza any favors? You think he's being biased here? Is that what you're saying in regards to Andy Ruiz?
I know his nationalistic pride, and he probably was happy, which everybody was happy. I made money off of that fight, which I was happy when he first fought Joshua, and Joshua took him lightly and didn't do his best and got his ass handed to him. But, come on. You just won 3 belts. You only need 1 more belt to unify. You would have been the only Mexican unified heavyweight champion, and you're going to come into a fight fucking Danny a half a pound off of 300. Making Miller look like he's small.
Jesus.
And you trying to rep him?
Hey, G Boogie, why do you think that Andy Ruiz came in so fat? What's the reason, in your opinion?
What do you think?
He ate too much, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, but come on, that's psychologically. Go ahead, G Boogie.
He's a lazy bastard. He wanted to party instead of doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's a professional prize fighter. Professional. That means everything you do is professional, and you take your craft to the utmost because you got nationalistic pride, you got other people looking at you, you got money that you could potentially make as a prize fighter, and you just want to, okay, I'm happy with this, I made my thing, let me sit on my ass. Come on. And you think I'm supposed to back somebody like I don't care who he is.
Some fighters are just happy to get to the top and then just run off into the sunset sort of thing. They just are. They'll get to a certain level and they never hit them heights again. And maybe that's Andy Ruiz. Go ahead, Carl. Go ahead, Mark.
How old is Andy Ruiz?
It don't matter. Listen, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you haven't got it in you, if you haven't got the stomach for it no more, it doesn't matter.
I'm trying to make a point. How old is he?
He's 33 or 32. Same age as Joshua, 6 months apart.
Okay, so he's still in his prime. If he would have took his craft seriously, he still would have been in his prime. There's no excuse,
of course,
man. I had my family depending on me. When I went to the military and I was I had to stay in boot camp and all that. I was 32 years old, going on 33, and my AIT was a year long. So before I got to permanent party, I had to do almost a year and 7 months.
Interesting, man. Yeah, that's so you. 32. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. Yeah, you gotta step up to the plate when the going gets rough. What do you guys think, though? Maybe, like Tito said, maybe Andy Ruiz is gonna surprise us and make a comeback.
Maybe.
Well, I'll say.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
I'll say this: I wish him the best. I hope he could do it. I hope he surprises us. But if he don't, then just go ahead and retire and go eat some carne asada or something.
By the way, the carne asada is not that fattening. It's the tacos and the tortillas and the flautas and the chimichangas.
No, bro, I was trying to make a jest. He go get some Mexican meat like Canelo, and maybe he can lose weight.
I got you, man. Listen, G Boogie, we're gonna move on, but thank you for calling in, and we'll catch you in the next one.
God bless.
All right, God bless.
I have a feeling that his own mistakes will push him to prepare well, because he's had a lot of money, but he spent it buying cars, so he's practically gone broke. So in order to sustain that lifestyle, the new lifestyle that he found, and to do well, he's gonna have to get money. So he's gonna have to get good fights, and just for that need to get that income again, he's gonna probably do well. But can he remain consistent? That remains to be.
Yeah, that's what Conor McGregor used to say, that he would spend it all so that it would motivate him to continue working hard. Otherwise, you live in too much luxury and you start getting lethargic. So like Marvin Hagler said. So, I mean, I guess we'll see, man, with fucking Andy Ruiz. By the way, we got Mark and we got Jimmy who just dropped by as well. Guys, thank you for jumping in.
What's going on, you sick fuckos?
Great intro. I wanted to move on from the whole Ruiz thing now that everybody's here, and I wanted to highlight some potentially good news, and that is that Golden Boy apparently is talking about they've opened a dialogue with the Zone to discuss a potential Canelo versus Smith or Billy Joe Saunders fight in November. This is from Keith Idek over at Boxing Scene. They're talking about this. No more Eel Dream or E-Dream or whatever his name is. And one comment on the forum there at Boxing Scene says he's a little skeptical that this is going to happen. But apparently they say they might do it. Okay, first of all, I forgot. My first question is this for you guys: which fight would you rather see? Alvarez. Smith. So okay, let's go in order. Okay, so Mark, you say Smith. Can you just tell us why?
Yeah, because Billy Joe Saunders is the UK Tank Davis. That's why.
Oh wait a minute, that's not a compliment. That's an insult. What's the matter with you?
It's because he is. You'll find it hard pressed for people to disagree with me. Yeah,
I think you're right. All right, so we got Mark saying he'd rather see Canelo versus Colin Smith. Stu, what about you?
What's the choice?
Canelo versus Colin Smith or Billy Joe Saunders this November?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd probably go with Mark. I'd probably go with Callum Smith myself, but it's just like with Billy Joe Saunders, because he's like on his day, he's very tricky customer. I'm excited to see Canelo deal with that sort of style, but if you want a good fight, then I'd go with Callum Smith. I think he'd give Canelo a better fight than Billy Joe in the end.
Interesting. We got 2 for Callum Smith. Bucho, how about you?
Callum Smith. He's maybe the best super middleweight right now.
Okay. Jimmy, how about you?
Too small.
We can barely hear you, Jimmy.
He said too small. I think he's in the bathroom. You sound muffled, man.
I'm actually in my car.
Oh, his car.
Oh, he's in his car.
He's in his car. All right.
All
right, Jimmy. We'll get to you when you're in a better connection spot. All right. Let's go to Gonzalo. Gonzalo, who would you rather see Canelo fight, Smith or Billy Joe Saunders?
Billy Joe Saunders.
Can you explain why?
Yeah, because Callum Smith, he came off a bad performance. Okay, I'll give him a pass on that. But he just looks weight drained at 68. He's too tall. He's probably having a hard time making weight. And if he fights Canelo, he's probably going to be depleted. Based off his last performance, Canelo's not going to get full credit. Although he does have the ring championship belt and an actual title. Maybe he's unified, I believe. But still, I think I would rather see Billy Joe Smith, because that saga has been going on for years. From as long as I can remember, they've been talking about Billy Joe Smith. So let's finish this
Saunders.
and we'll move on to Billy Joe Smith.
Saunders. Stop calling him Billy.
Smith.
You're making up a fighter, Billy Joe Smith. He doesn't exist.
Billy Joe Smith.
Oh, sorry. Callum Smith and Billy Joe
Is
Saunders.
that Rocky's next opponent?
But you know what I meant, right?
Yeah. I know what you meant. I know.
Rocky.
I know what you meant, Gonzalo. I was just kidding.
Creed
3.
Creed, the movie.
Yeah.
Billy Joe Saunders.
By the
Hey,
way,
nobody mentioned Caleb Plant. Nobody mentioned Caleb Plant.
Nah,
Because
nobody
that's
wants
not
to.
gonna happen.
The only guy that likes the only guy that I know that likes Caleb Plant is Johnny Boy. For some reason, he likes Caleb
Yeah,
Plant.
he's obsessed with Caleb Plant. I don't know if he's joking.
I don't think so, man. I don't think he jokes about these types of things. I'll tell you what, I'm with Gonzalo. I'd rather see Billy Joe Saunders if he comes in shape. Because look, listen, Canelo has not fought an elusive guy that will make him come to him in years. When he fights a guy like Callum Smith, that's really going to stand in front of him more or less, or I think Canelo's going to be able to get under the reach. If he gets under the reach, it's over. I don't think Callum Smith has anything to hold him that much, in terms of activity or power. But Billy Joe Saunders, if he starts darting in and out, making faces at him, and hey, not for nothing, but nowadays, you need as much promotion as you can. And Billy Joe Saunders will definitely promote this fight more via his trash talking than fucking Callum Smith.
Callum Smith has no personality.
Can I talk on something real fast, right? I want to get this out because my frustrations with Billy Joe Saunders run deep.
Yeah.
They run mad deep. This dude is literally a beacon of stupidity of his own downfall. He really is. This guy, look at him. He managed to get a fucking knockout against Cocheres, yeah? Some random ass guy no one's ever heard of. Nobody'd ever heard of him. And he was struggling. He was losing on all 3 judges' scorecards. He beats Shifa Isafi and gets rocked and becomes a 2-weight world champion. He tests positive in the fight with Andrade, so that shit never happens. Right? And he struggles with guys like, what was his name? Akavov. He struggled with him. Everyone talks about, the Lemieux fight. Oh, yeah, Billy Joe Saunders looks spectacular against a dude who can't cut the ring off and doesn't even have a damn jab.
Yeah.
Right? Other than that, his best career performance was, 5 years ago against Andy Lee, who was old?
Yeah.
Or maybe against Chris Eubank Jr., who for the first 5 rounds, Billy Joe Saunders looked very good against, right? And then all of a sudden he starts to tail off and the fight becomes close and he nicks it 7-5. I mean, he's not as special as people make him out to be. He can move well. He's awkward, sure. But against someone like Canelo, Eubank ain't no much better. Eubank ain't better at cutting the ring off than Canelo. He doesn't have better shot selection. You think about that. 5 rounds in, he's coasting and then he gasps because he's having to work. Billy Joe
that's the thing. That's the thing, Mark. If you don't fight him now, they're gonna say he avoided him in the future.
Yeah. Well, I pick Canelo to stop Billy Joe Saunders.
I don't know.
I pick him to beat the shit out of both of them. It's just I know Callum Smith's gonna come in shape.
Yeah. The problem with Canelo, right? You've got to sort of get some respect with your punches from him, man. He just fucking walked. He was walking through Golovkin shots. So what's he going to do with these other guys? I mean, this Kovalev never hurt him at all, and Kovalev was on the back foot most of the time, but he never hurt. Canelo's going to be a hard man to stop, and I think to beat Canelo, I think that's how you can't beat him now because he's a lot better fighter than the one that fought Floyd. It's just he's a different machine altogether, and it's just going to take a real special guy to beat Canelo, and I just don't think either of them guys are that guy, to be honest with you. I just don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, that's why I want to see.
My favorite fight for Canelo.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Video.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, out of all of them, anyone available, my favorite fight, just because it looks all right on paper, even though Canelo wins, would be John Ryder. I think John Ryder will put more on it.
Yeah, because Canelo likes to have lulls in fights where he doesn't do much at all. He'll have his little breathers here and there. He sort of fights in bursts, Canelo. And I think with John Ryder, that sort of style could make it quite close on the cards for a little while, but then Canelo's going to land one, and that's all she wrote.
That's a good
least
point.
Ryder's gonna
Maybe
go
that's why they
first,
wanted
too.
that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's going to make Canelo work, but the problem is, I think he's really good on the back foot now. I think he's a very good counter puncher. The way he sits on them ropes and picks his shots, dangerous. I mean, I think John Ryder would run straight into one of them. You know, Canelo it's going to take a very special guy to beat that guy. I'm telling you now. Well, I don't see anyone around doing it right now. He'd have to go up and fight someone like Beterbiev or them sort of guys. To get, I just think anyone from 160, 168, and most to 175 can't beat this guy.
In the chat, people are saying the only way Canelo loses is by a knockout.
Yeah, I agree that because, like I said, he's got the points covered, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oscar's got that covered. But look,
well, if that's the case, there's only one guy capable of beating him from 160 to 175, and that's Beterbiev.
Yeah,
that's what I just said, Mark. That's the only guy I could see troubling Canelo. But even like I said, Canelo's got a granite chin, bro. You know, like I
always
said,
thought that Davidiachenko could give him a tough fight, but that's already signed with.
Mate, he'd beat the living breaks off of Derevchenko. I'm telling you that now.
Levianchenko couldn't even get a fucking points victory over Golovkin in terms of favoritism. Never mind Canelo, fam.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
so dangerous. I'm interested.
Listen, Derevchenko wouldn't even see the 12th round, mate. Don't worry about that one.
I want to give a shout out to Kenshiro, who's just donated the super chat. He says, I reckon Canelo can capture more 175-pound titles. All right, shout out to Kenshiro. Yeah, maybe Canelo could get himself a couple more titles, but he should stay away from Beterbiev because that's just a whole other world for him.
Yeah, it's just
well, the only
even
other
then though. Listen, even then, it's a 50. Well, it's not probably 60-40 Beterbiev, but Canelo's not like he's not going to get steamrolled in that fight. I can assure you now he won't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Beterbiev can be hurt as well, and
Canelo slows good against it.
Canelo is a world-class puncher. He really is. I know he might not have that concussive knockout power that just sparks you clean. Well, unless you're Amir Khan, of course. But these shots, they're having an effect on you. And like I said, he hits you clean. He's precise with his punch, very accurate as well. Like I said, Beterbiev could be in for a hard night himself. So don't think that Canelo's going to go in there and get steamrolled. It's not going to happen. That's still a real close fight.
Yeah, man.
It's his ability to pull off of shots slipped up and also
it,
be able to land so accurately, you know? He's very accurate.
The precision of his shots, mate, they're landing on the button clean. I mean, when Canelo's throwing punches, there's no better sight in boxing at the moment. But he has his lulls where he doesn't do anything. And that's where you can nick rounds. Well, on our cards, probably not the ones that the judges are doing, but you can sort of like be in the fight with him because you can be busy when he's doing nothing. So obviously the round's your sort of thing, isn't it? So, but once he starts opening the gears, yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, his defense is out of this world, man. Jimmy, you gonna say something?
Brother.
Jimmy, you want to say something? So I saw him unmuting himself. All right, listen, fellas, let's go to the phone calls real quick. The phone lines, I should say. We got a phone call, 773. You're on the air, 773.
Can you guys talk about the WBC ordering Canelo Alvarez versus some Turkish dude whose last one was in February, whose last fight was February 2019, coming off a loss, and they're going to give him a mandatory title shot? WBC vacant belt. That
Are you talking about Yildirim? Are you talking about Yildirim?
Yeah, he is. He's talking about Abney.
Yeah. Well, I don't get that either. Like that guy got fucking knocked out in 2 rounds by Chris Eubank. What's Canelo gonna do? You know, so come on, man.
Yeah, that seems to be a bit of a joke there. I don't think that's going to happen. The Canelo is the type of fighter that can tell the alphabet titles to go fuck themselves. I mean, he's not living by their world; they're living by his.
Yeah, he don't care about titles anymore.
Yeah, they want those sanctioning fees from him. So if they know what's good for them, they'll shut their mouths and let Canelo fight whoever he wants. But the Yildirim fight, they can't force it. I mean, like there was this guy on Boxing. He says, "What a dummy!" In terms of the report saying that the Zone was looking for a potential Colin Smith or Billy Joe Saunders fight. So this guy goes, "What a dummy! This report means nothing. IDEC, the journalist, can't even quote any of the players involved. Yet your dumbasses takes it as if it's set on stone. The Canelo versus Yildirim fight has actually been ordered by the WBC, and the Yildirim's manager has stated that they have talked to Uncle Al about taking this fight to Showtime and putting it on pay-per-view. Look, even Canelo's not
That's stupid.
Even Canelo's not that
Can I
crazy.
comment on that?
Yes, please.
Canelo's exclusive to the Zone right now. So that report of going to Al Heyman shit is like absolute bollocks. That's not going to happen. And
the Zone,
and then
the Zone,
second part,
the Zone,
is
yeah. The Zone want their money back from Canelo.
Hold on. One at a time,
The
guys.
Zone want their money back from Canelo.
One at a time, guys. One at a time. One at a time.
Sorry, it was cutting out. Sorry,
Yeah.
it was cutting out.
Mark, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, WBC sanctioning bodies don't actually decide. Even when they mandate fights, they don't decide. Networks decide who's fighting on their fucking cards.
Exactly. And it's not like Suleiman's gonna force Canelo to fight anybody.
Yeah, is Sullivan going to pay the $35 million to Canelo?
Exactly, Mark. 35 million, you're not getting that back when you put Yildirim in there. I can assure you that one. Even the Mexicans not buying that. You know what I mean? So look, the Zone are going to have to step up. I can see it being one of the Brits, to be honest with you, and I think Golovkin is after that. That's the way I see it.
Well,
yeah,
look, that's
you know
the best
what?
possible
Canelo needs
thing.
to humble. He needs to humble himself and stop walking around like a Billy Badass, like he commands everything and tells everybody what to do. That fuck's just getting on my
He got it
nerves,
from
man.
Floyd. He got it from Floyd, man. Trying to be Floyd, the new Floyd.
Yeah,
think so.
Look, but to be fair with Canelo, like I said, he's earned the right to be like that, and that's I don't mind fights being like when they earn it. It's when they're doing that and they haven't earned it. That's when I'm annoyed with them.
The best move for him would be to
the
fight with
Zone
someone
said,
who has the belt.
The Zone said no, that's not going to work. They said they don't want that fight. He said
No,
you need to fight.
nobody wants that
either,
fight.
One of the top guys.
Yildirim,
Yeah, nobody wants to see
is
that.
fucking useless. Yildirim is useless. And that
Look
fight.
at it like this. Go ahead, Stu. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mark. No, I've said my piece. Go ahead.
Useless.
I was just gonna say, like, look at it like this. Yeah, the Zone ain't gonna want to front a $40 million purse. You know, because like Yildirim's the mandatory. He gets like 20% or something. He can go make that crap go to purse bids. Yeah, and all of a sudden he gets 20% at $35 million.
Yeah,
that's $7 million. That's $42 million.
Yeah,
Hold on, guys. What about
that?
I read somewhere that remember David Benavidez all of a sudden ended up as a WBC #1 ranked in light heavyweight. But
Yes,
apparently,
he did.
What about the piece of news that I just read today? Like he's sending a letter to the WBC or something so they can reinstate him as a #1 ranked WBC contender at 168.
Yeah.
What would that mean? Like, how can they even do that?
Yeah, he can petition to fight down at the weight. You see, what they did was they felt like because he lost the title on the scales due to weight issues, they just elevated him up into the same position in a weight above, assuming that's what he's going to do. But since he wants to continue at 168, he can tell them what weight division he's fighting in, and they have to come up to some type of a conclusion on his ranking. But they can't rank him in both. So
Suleiman put out a statement talking about this is a consequence of the pandemic, kind of giving an excuse for Benavidez already. So yeah, he might be.
Well, what's the excuse? I don't get it.
The pandemic is
the
the excuse.
pandemic. This is what fighters go through, and if you watch what Navarrete and some other fighters have done, where they take this fight on the comeback and they don't exactly do it at the weight division that they fight in, they have gone exemption. So this might be the case with.
My question here is, how do they have that Turkish dude ranked #1? He hasn't fought in over a year. His last fight, he's coming off a loss, but they still have him ranked #1.
I can explain it, mate. The WBC belt should have a fucking picture of Ronald McDonald. That's like not Muhammad Ali, Ronald fucking McDonald, because it's an embarrassment to boxing, that belt. And look at that fucking guy. Did you see his grin when he did the interview? I mean, even the thumbnail was sitting there like a Cheshire cat when Dillian White got knocked out. He was, I mean, just don't like the guy. Really don't. And he got what he wanted. He got what he wanted, didn't he? He got Dillian White out of there. And look, I don't think Canelo's. I don't think he's going to fall to Sullivan's demands. I mean, he cares about a WBC belt anymore.
Yeah, man. Listen, my advice. My advice would be to stop caring about these belts, man. And again, Canelo can do. He's gonna do what he wants, man. He's not gonna fight Idrim. I mean, he'd be insane. This guy cares what people say. By the way, he cares. You know, when people were giving him crap about not fighting Golovkin, and you know, in public, people would go up to him in Mexico and say, "Hey, you know, like they would give him shit about it." And he ended up fighting Golovkin because he'd had enough. So I don't think he steps in there against. I tell you what, though, if he steps in there against Idrim, he deserves all the criticism. That
he
that
does,
he's
mate.
not
Hey,
doing
mate.
it, man. Not
Even off
happening.
me. If he gets in there with Yildirim, I'm gonna have to get on this guy's back.
Absolutely.
Can't have that, man.
Kevin, anything else?
Wait, I think Mark.
Let's think in a minute. Let me think in. Chris Eubank looked like a prime Marvin Hagler in there against Yildirim.
Stu,
That's how bad Yildirim is.
I thought we would never see that guy ever again.
Well, I was hoping that'd be the case, but unfortunately, here we are.
Exactly, yeah, man. I mean, it's.
Hey, wait. Can I just say? I think Mark was going to explain to us how Yildirim made it up all the way to the number one ranked WBC contender.
Yeah, Turkish mafia. The Turkish mafia have put a backhander in Sullivan's pocket. That's my guess.
You know what? He's not far off. Anyway, after the fights, and he fought like Ryan. Right. So what happened was after Eubank, he fought Derek Edwards, and that gave him ranking points with the international title, right? So that put him into the top 10 in the rankings. And then he fought against Lalenga Mock, who was ranked inside the top 10 as well. Since he was one of only two fighters to fight for two ranking positions, he was moved into the top 3. When he fought against Anthony Durrell, and he lost a technical decision controversially, it was petitioned by his promoter, who happens to be extremely good friends, with Sullivan, that he deserves another shot at the title because that was for the vacant. It was for the vacant world title against Durrell. So because he lost in the vacant world title fight due to essentially a robbery, they petitioned, so they gave him a mandatory position. That's literally what happened. Couldn't be more corrupt if you tried.
I mean, listen, that's boxing for you, man. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, and especially in Turkey or whatever with these guys. Who knows if they paid anything like for that? Listen, Kevin, anything else you want to say before we move on?
Yeah. So based on these three fighters, take away your bias, take away the promoters they're from, the personalities. Just look at their fights. Caleb Plant, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders. Look at their last performances. Billy Joe Saunders, his fight, that was supposed to be a showcase fight to set him up for a big fight with Canelo, and he looked terrible. He didn't get that knockout late in the 11th round. He was going to lose that fight. Callum Smith got a gift decision against John Ryder. Now, Caleb Plant
close decision. Close decision.
Guys he's supposed to destroy. So, based on those performances, I think Caleb Plant poses the biggest challenge for Canelo. Now, I know Caleb Plant. The problem is Caleb Plant, he's not really wanting to fight. That's what it seems like. But just based on the style matchups, you got to say Caleb Plant is the biggest challenge for Canelo. Take it easy.
All right, thank you.
I disagree with that. Look,
it's a non-talking point. It's a non-talking point. Plant Plant won't even have the fight. Plant's over on PBC.
Yeah. Not just that. I mean, Billy Joe Saunders, I think it's a bit like Tyson Fury. When you look back at Tyson Fury's fight before he fought Wilder in the second one, dreadful performance. Do you know what I mean? But when you stick him in there with a dangerous man like Wilder, he looks world class. That's the thing. I think that's with Billy Joe. I think the bigger threat that's in front of him, the better he's going to perform. And I think that would be the case with Callum Smith as well. When you look at most of Callum Smith's poorest performance have been against guys that he shouldn't have been in there with. You know, that kickboxer, he was dreadful that night. And John Ryder's a lot tougher than what a lot of people think. He's a horrible star for anyone. So,
and also,
don't. Go ahead.
Yes. Also, what's the deal with these guys' weights? Billy Joe Saunders has never really had a good win at 68. He's kind of overweight, and the other guy, Callum Smith, he's kind of lanky and he looks depleted at 68. So I don't think these guys are at their optimal best at those weights.
Yeah, but look, who cares? Who fucking cares? Just get the fights on, man. Let them worry about the weight. We'll worry about the fight. At the end of the day, it's got to be better than Yildirim, isn't it? It's got to be better than him. And it's got to be better than Caleb Plant as well. Caleb Plant, you know, he's a good little fighter, Caleb Plant, but let's be real. Blocks punches with his face. Canelo would beat the brakes off that kid.
His face fell apart in one round.
Yeah.
In his fight.
Canelo will beat the brakes off of that kid. That'd be a massacre. So is that what you want? Or do you want Yildirim, the Turkish guy that lasted about a round and a half against Chris Eubank, the guy that knocks nobody out?
It goes to show that muscles don't win you fights because Yildirim is jacked and he can't box worth of shit.
Yeah. He might be jacked all right, but didn't help him against Eubank when he was sleeping after about 4 minutes.
He looks like a 75-pounder, man. He's huge.
Hey, how about Canelo Eubank Jr.?
Style mixed fights, interesting.
Listen, decent. I'd watch that fight. Eubank will come to fight. He'll get beat, but he'll come to fight. You know, he's a lot better than Yildirim, isn't he? Because he knocked Yildirim out, and so you know. But if I had my choice, I'd rather Callum Smith than Eubank. To be honest with you, I'd like to see Canelo fight a big guy that's going to put it on him as well.
Mr. BDA, I'm gonna just read another piece of news.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do hear echo. All right.
Well, can I just say one thing real quick though?
Yep.
In regards to this whole Canelo Triple G, you know, this super middleweight division, at least there's talk now though that he just doesn't want to fight his mandatory and actually take on people that are worth a damn. Meanwhile, Golovkin continues to insist to take on his mandatory Zeremeta, whatever it is. He doesn't see the big picture that, look, nobody wants to see you fight this guy that's completely ordinary or even below ordinary for the world-class level. Stu, what do you think about Triple G insisting on fighting this guy, whereas Canelo, at least it seems from what they're saying now, he might be looking for better opposition?
Just add another donkey to Golovkin's record. That's what we can do, can't we? Why bother? The guy's old as it is, man. Just fight the big fights while they're there. He's still good enough to compete with most of these guys, but you're going to waste another camp. You're going to waste our time, you know. And what are you getting out of it? Even if you go in there and stop the guy, whoopee-doo-dah. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, this is why I keep getting on Golovkin's nutsack. The fucking guy has wasted some of it. They were ducking. I understand that, but come on, man. There's times when this guy could have fought better guys than Marta Rojan, fucking Steve Rolls, Macklin, Proska. I mean, fucking like a fucking donkey sanctuary, isn't it? Naming all them fucking guys, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre, man. What does everybody else think? Why does Golovkin? He says it's because he made a promise to fight his mandatory. He intends to keep it. I mean, isn't that a little bit bizarre, though?
I don't give a fuck about something else as Meta, man. This dude is garbage.
Who is that?
In all honesty, by the way, I don't even care about the Canelo Golovkin fight. I'm done with that saga.
I am as well.
I'm done with that. Like, I'd like to see him fight Andrade, mate. Like, that's awkward.
Yeah. Golovkin should be going after Charlo and people like that. That's who he should be calling.
Well, yeah, but who has been calling out Golovkin either? Also, who else is aside from those?
We all know what Golovkin's at the zone for. We know what he's there for.
Charlo.
Okay, I got the IBF belt. Okay, I'm 160-pound IBF champion. Somebody want my belt? Who wants it? I don't hear nobody knocking on fucking Golovkin's door either.
Should still be making the offer.
Yeah, but I don't see him knocking on anyone's door either. So it's a bit of a stalemate, really, isn't it? Look, Golovkin hasn't got time on his side. He should be going after Andrade. He should be going after Charlo. He should be going after these sort of guys, or trying to get the Canelo, a last hurrah at Canelo. I don't want to see it, but I will if it comes on, sort of thing. But I'm not bothered about it. But they're the three fights you should be looking at. No one else.
B-sides don't make offers in boxing.
Exactly.
The A side makes the offer. Golovkin should be like, here, I'm making 15 million a fight. Come get a fucking cut of the purse.
Yeah. Exactly, man.
Yeah, the
Not
zone
fighting
should be
Camille
demanding
Cesar
more from
Mete,
him.
fam.
Yeah, they should be demanding the same as like they do for Canelo, like a bigger name, because they're paying him like $10 million for the contract he has
15
for how
million
many
to fight
fights?
Steve Rose, Gonzalo.
Yeah,
Well, some
exactly.
people in the chat are saying that he's all-time great, basically, and so he can do whatever he wants. I
He ain't
guess.
no
Yeah,
all-time great.
Well, that's what TVE and all. Yeah,
He ain't even a modern great.
you
Golovkin?
don't think so? I think he was a
He was
decent
good,
middleweight.
but
Yeah.
bro? I'm right. I'm gonna say something, and I'm just gonna put it as blunt as possible. Yeah,
say it, Mark, man. Say it.
Golovkin's best victory is a cancer patient.
Oh, come on, but that's no. Come on, that's nah.
That's
I'm not
reality.
gonna allow you to say no.
It's true.
I know, but listen, what's that cancer have to do with anything? Listen, Jacobs
It's
was
true.
he was coming
His
off.
best wins.
He destroyed. See, I forgot his name. That Cuban
Yeah,
guy.
well, that you're really helping your cause now, Butcher.
Exactly. No, he destroyed him in one round. What was his name? WBO middleweight champion, former WBO champion. Jesus.
1 round.
Jacobs knocked him out in 1 round. Remember?
Oh, you're on about Quillen, Peter Quillen.
Yes. Listen, no, but
he beat Peter Quillen.
Okay, come on. Okay, no, but seriously speaking, like Jacobs is a very good middleweight. I mean, listen, everybody's docking him. Even Charlo docked him. Andrade doesn't want anything to do with Jacobs. Jacobs, he lost that fight against Canelo, but it was a very tactical fight. He's a very good fighter, man. Very good fighter.
Go watch the second Canelo fight.
He's very good,
I
and
thought
he's
he
very
won, man.
skilled. Oh, that's cool. That's all great. But he's very good, and he's got skills and all this crap. But other than getting a draw, a controversial rivalry draw with Canelo, where most people thought he should have won, right? But he didn't win the fight. Other than that, who he beat? Danny Jacobs and Peter Quillen and David Lemieux.
Yeah, but to be fair, Danny Jacobs was a close fight as well. That was a close fight.
It was close. He went the distance with him. The same Danny Jacobs who got killed by Dmitry Pirog.
Okay, well, one thing, Mike. Okay, Unravel. Mark, you know more than me about this. When Golovkin fought all these guys, were they top ranked? Like top 5? I think a lot of them were, right?
Well, the middleweight division was shit.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, but when Lemieux is a top 3 guy in a division, there's a problem.
But he was knocking them all out. So, like, he wasn't going 12 rounds with these guys. He was destroying them. So that I think we gotta give him some credit for that. Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, and a lot of fighters
destroying
avoided
C-level
him.
fighters don't make you an all-time great.
Well, the person will be all-time great. I mean, he's the top middleweight, one of the top of all time. He's not above, Hopkins, Hagler, Monson, whatever, but he's up there in one of the most dominant middleweights we've seen in a long time. So I don't think he's, again, the best middleweight of all time. But
Over half his defense is with a regular belt.
I think people might
Right,
be throwing
we're gonna
him
get
under the
into
bus
that.
just a little bit too much now because he's older. How's the guy's gonna defend himself? He's almost 40. In hindsight, it's like, yeah, you were good, but if I were speaking about you a couple years ago, maybe I wouldn't be like throwing him under the bus just like some people are perceiving him to be now. But he has to be fighting better guys. But anyhow, it is what it is, man. Kind of controversial. Golovkin.
yeah. People in the chat, Colin says Triple G top 5 middleweight of all time. Claudio Monreal says he definitely a great middleweight. That's what I'm saying.
Top 5 middleweight of all time.
No, somebody said that, yeah.
I've got no problem with people calling him a great middleweight, and all-time great middleweight. That's up to you to decide that. But it's in front of you. It's on paper. Just go and look at the resume. It's in front of you. I mean, just go and break it down. Like I said, Jacobs very close. Canelo win, he probably got robbed a Canelo win. I'll give him that. Well, but in the second one, he looked like he'd been run over by a truck. So there's some good wins there. There is, but so many camps wasted on fucking cannon fodder.
Let me go through this resume real quick.
Well,
Go
okay,
ahead, Mark.
okay.
Let Mark go through it. Go on, because I want to hear this.
Stu, what could he have done? Though? You wanted, okay, Stu. So you wanted Golovkin to move up to 168?
A long time ago.
Oh, okay.
He's not a 68 pounder.
He's a small middleweight, by the way.
Look,
more decent.
Canelo's not big. Canelo's not a massive middleweight. Frame wise, all right, he's quite a wide guy, but he's still quite short and stuff. He doesn't have the attributes of that weight, really.
So you can't have it both ways.
Huh?
You can have it both ways because I'm pretty sure you were saying, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you think that Canelo was a big 154 pounder? Because that was the whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
Everybody kept saying that.
But don't matter. At the end of the day, you got to test yourself. Cal Brook had the nuts to get in with him. Why can't he have the nuts to go and get in with someone like, well, I don't know, even an Andre Ward at Superman or anyone, Frotch, anyone. Do you know what I mean? Fucking no, he just hung around fighting chump after chump. And that's my problem with him. A great fighter. A real top fighter. I can't deny that. But just let Mark go through the resume quickly because we have to squash this and nip it in the bud sort of thing because these Golovkin fanboys in here, they're not having it. Go ahead, Mark.
Y'all can agree with me or disagree with me. I'm just going to make one-word statements each time to each fighter. We'll go from when he first picked up the interim, right? So Nunes, boom. Boom. Milton Nunes, right?
Right.
Yeah, boom. Nilson Tapia, boom. Yeah?
All right.
Yeah,
Kasim Uma.
Yeah.
Kasim Uma, boom.
Yeah.
Lejuan Simon, boom. Makoto Fujijami, boom. Proske,
Jason Bourne
Gabriel Rosado, gatekeeper. Nobuhiro Ishida, boom.
Useless.
Matthew Macklin,
Contender. Call him a contender. He was a contender.
Fucking hell, yeah. Right. The guy lost to Jamie Murray, for fuck's sake.
All right.
Curtis Stevens,
contender. Contender, man.
Yeah, contending to get knocked out by everyone.
God,
Osamanu, boom.
Right. Yeah.
Daniel Gill. Okay, I'll say Daniel Gill's okay.
He lost to Darren Barker. He lost to Darren Barker. Get out of here, man.
It's still his best opponent so far.
That's a contender, man.
It probably is, actually.
Listen, a contender is... Not everybody is a contender, by the way.
Marco Antonio Rubio.
A respected word.
Yeah,
a respected
Rubio.
title.
Rubio, once alright. At the time he fought him, shot and... Martin Murray. Okay, Martin was alright. He had a good performance with Sergio Martinez, right?
Lost every big fight he was in.
Okay, hold on. But Rubio, come on, he destroyed him in 2 rounds or something? That's that we take into account. You can look at the win-loss thing, but
look,
he was still shot though.
The fashion. I understand.
Butcho, he's named about 20 odd guys, and the best we've got so far is Daniel Gill. Go ahead.
Willie Monroe Jr.
Okay. He had his moments.
He gets hit in the nuts by fighters' kids.
The Triple G apologist Butcho over there. Look. Listen to him.
David Lemieux, big puncher, nothing else.
Good win.
Yeah, made Billy Joe Saunders look like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, but
let him look like prime Larry Holmes. But I'll say David Lemieux so far probably his best win. Dominic Wade, unbeaten. Garbage.
Yeah, you take him out. Yeah,
absolutely.
Kell Brook, 147-pound little gay guy getting stabbed in the leg in Marbella. Right?
What does that have to do with anything?
I know.
He was coming off of a stab wound to the leg going into the Triple G fight, coming up with 2 weight divisions.
Jacobs had cancer.
Yeah, Jacobs had cancer. Come on.
Daniel Jacobs, his best opponent by far, strong middleweight.
You can't say anything
good
bad
resume
about
himself.
No, I like Jacobs.
I like Jacobs. Is a good fighter, and he's a good fighter.
Jacobs is for me top 3 middleweight in the world, world class fighter.
Draw with Canelo got robbed. Draw with Canelo got robbed.
He won.
That Jacobs fight
Hall of Famer. Right. So he's got a good win over Canelo. He's got the draw with Canelo, which he should have won. Right.
Yeah.
Drags a Chavanas up to 160. Fuck me. Then loses the rematch to Canelo. Fights ham rolls. whatever, and then fights a dude who
Steamroll,
lost to
innit?
Jacobs and came off of a tough draw with fucking a tough win over Jack Kulke.
I will,
I'm gonna give him
however.
full credit for the
All right.
Davidiachenko win.
And he made Derevchenko look like Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him
Okay,
full
cool.
credit for that victory because some fighters they get robbed and they compensate with other fights. I'm not saying it's fair, but it happens in careers. Remember De La Hoya, he got robbed many times, but he got credit for the Stern fight. In the end, it's a victory. It was a close fight, so he gets full credit for that Davidiachenko victory.
Yeah,
All in all, I named 17 bums, 3 good fighters, and 2
Nah, but I gotta say though, I gotta give you points. I gotta take points away from your analysis because most of the time when you were saying this guy, you were just saying, like you didn't really go into depth about why.
Okay, instead of right, Matthew Macklin.
Yeah, let's look at
UK
Matthew
hype
Macklin.
job who never amounted to anything and had to pretend to be Irish to build any type of following.
Yeah.
Hey, I did that once. Come on.
Hey, that's what you're doing, Mark.
Hey, I'm Irish. Takir Lasso.
Look, I will. My
I don't
opinion,
know who that is. Anyway.
If my opinion means anything, I will say I give him credit for, like Butcher said, the way he beat something. Like, even if you want to say some of these guys were past it or never was, at least he took him out the way you're supposed to. Martin Murray was a strong motherfucker. Daniel Gill was too. Matthew Macklin had given Sergio Martinez fits. The David Lemieux fight, I actually disagree. I actually don't think that's as good a win because Lemieux is just. I mean, yeah, punching power for sure, but it's just Kell Brook.
Yeah,
definitely
but people, these same Golovkin fans that call Canelo Alvarez all sorts of names.
Right.
I mean, we won't read Canelo's resume out, but go and look at Canelo's resume and compare it with Golovkin's.
That's true.
I mean, they're from stratospheres apart.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say one last thing about that. I wanted to say one last thing about that is that when he finally took on Canelo, I think a lot of us agree he actually should have deserved the win in the first fight, and the second fight was razor close. So he didn't, he shows you he deserves to be, and that he is a top middleweight. I mean, it's what? Go ahead.
Can I say something? Just quickly? The standards are different because one had Canelo had a different promotional company, and Golovkin had a different promotional company, right? So with Golden Boy, you can do basically whatever you want. So the expectation should be higher because you can fight anybody. With Golovkin, remember he had all these issues in Germany and he wasn't getting the fights he wanted. And even when he was in the United States, he was being avoided. So it was very difficult for him to get some fights, though.
Look, you can only rate somebody on what they've done.
God, Jesus Christ! Hey, Triple G could bang your missus, but Joey, and you'd find a way to make it out that it was your missus' fault or something. Do you know what I mean?
Come on, so you know
blame your
what I'm saying
missus.
is true, though. What I'm saying is true.
Well, come look.
Some people still expect Canelo to turn in his career-defining victory. He's fought a lot of fighters over their 30s, and he had a lot of close decisions that could have gone either way. So I mean, Canelo's got a good win over Jacobs, and they share that common opponent. But also, Canelo has a lot to prove still.
Yeah, but look at that fucking resume is a lot better than Golovkin's. I mean, come on, man.
She's cuckolded me before. She's had
What
me.
does that have to do with anything?
She's
cuckolded. The thing is, what do you mean? What's it got to do with anything? The fact is, there's a lot.
Golovkin. Okay, let's
there's a lot of Golovkin fans. You know, if you let me finish, there's a lot of Golovkin fans that give Canelo all sorts of shit on here, and call him Ducker and all sorts of things. I mean, this guy's got a far better resume than Golovkin. That's my point.
Yeah, but I haven't. Yeah, okay.
All right, hold on. Let's go.
People are stupid. I mean, what the fuck?
Let's go to the phone lines real quick. Maybe somebody an outside party can resolve this for us. Let's go. This 574. You're on the air. What's on your mind?
What's up, fellas? I'm a little late to the show, but I'm hearing a lot of Triple G hate, man. What's the deal?
You tell me, man. I mean, we're having a bit of a disagreement here about how good Triple G was, and I'm very curious to hear your take on it.
Now, look, I agree in this aspect. Triple G, resume isn't the best. We can say he got the push, for as build up being a European fighter, but we got to give a man his credit. He beat Canelo, and not too many guys can say that. So, how y'all feel about that? Even though he didn't get the credit, but when we keep it 100, though, besides him and Floyd, who else beat Canelo, and maybe lost?
Point.
Look,
you know what I'm saying? So
the best way to solve this is put Golovkin in there with Canelo again. But I can tell you now, all you Golovkin fans, if you think your boy is going to beat Canelo, then I don't know what planet you're on because
He's too
Golovkin's
old
going
now.
to go. Golovkin's going to go in there and he's going to get badly hurt. Not
Too old.
Not
Too
da-
old.
you know, like I said, he's just too. He can't get out of the way of punches anymore. He's just too slow. He's too old, mate. Like Butcho just said, just too old. And Canelo is getting better every time I see him fight. That if you thought he looked bad in the last fight, wait till you see him in this one. It's going to be like watching Rocky Balboa all over again in Rocky 2. Do you know what I mean? So
if you put all the rounds together, the 12 rounds from the two fights, GGG got the best of them.
24 rounds.
Right, fact.
No, I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, I thought Canelo won the second fight quite comfortably. I thought the first fight Golovkin won by 2 or 3 rounds, I think.
Scorecard.
Huh?
I didn't hear you.
Which scorecard?
Canelo won?
He said that Stu said he thought Canelo won the second fight handily.
No, watch the later rounds. I just rewatched it a few times.
Okay, Stu. The caller is asking you how many rounds did you have it? Like,
Well, the second fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Canelo winning by 3 or 4 rounds, I believe. I can't remember the exact card, but I had him winning by 3 or 4 rounds.
Well, yeah,
Golovkin was missing a lot of them shots. That's the problem. A lot of these fucking guys that sit here arguing with me are sitting there watching it on a stream on a phone. You're not going. A lot of these fucking shots are not hitting. They're hitting bloods and they're missing.
With
You
pop-ups.
never seen Canelo stressed like that besides the Floyd fight. You watch both of those Triple G fights and you look at Canelo's face and you can tell he's not in there just cruising like other fights. Besides that Floyd fight, that's the only time I can tell you seen Canelo, take it up another notch in his fight.
Look, Canelo in the Floyd fight, he got bamboozled in there. He weren't ready for it. It was too green, and he froze on the night. But he learned a lot from it. He's a lot better fighter now. So I'd never use Floyd as an example how to beat Canelo because I just don't think that Canelo Alvarez exists anymore. So fighting like Floyd might not be enough anymore. That's my point. This guy has got all angles covered. And that's why I think if you put him in there with Golovkin now, who's slowing down, who just can't get out of the way of punches, it's going to be a massacre. I'm telling you that now. You've heard it here
I wish we could score that fight live, BDA, one day.
We'll get to it, man, for sure.
T-Tone in the chat is he's saying, "Oh my god." Go ahead, caller.
I gotta head out, but I wanted to ask y'all a quick question because I know y'all about to clown on this one. How do y'all feel about the Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya return, man?
You know what, man? I think he sniffed a little bit too much, and he went on a rampage on Twitter and wrote something he shouldn't have. Actually, you know what? It's not as ridiculous as it sounds if he's talking about like what Roy Jones and Mike Tyson are doing, which is to fight guys that are closer to their age. But if he's talking about fighting the top contenders now, he's out of his goddamn mind.
He should fight Sergio Martinez. He came back. You should fight him.
Yeah.
Who should fight
De La Hoya?
Sergio Martinez?
De La Hoya is coming back.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, Sergio Martinez.
Why don't you fight John Fury or something like that?
Wait.
Sergio Martinez is younger. Sergio Martinez is 50 and De La Hoya is 54.
Yeah, by the way, Gonzalo said that Martinez came back a couple of days ago and actually won his fight against some Spaniard guy. Stopped him in the 7th round. Haven't seen the fight. Let me look. Yeah.
Yeah, but Martinez is walking around like Kaiser Soze, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's fucking limping.
Oh man!
Or because he's Argentinian. Well, he should also fight Maidana. Possibly.
All right, hold on. Thanks, caller. Caller, thank you for calling in, man. Thank you for the topics. Appreciate it.
Hey, can I just say?
In
the chat, T-Tone Toledo is saying, "Oh my God, they're adding up the two fights," because Gonzalo said that if you add the two fights together, why can't you do that?
Wrong with that?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Why not?
It don't matter though. Like I said, you could win like 23 rounds of a fight and still be 1-1 when you look in the history books. So
I watched that fight like 3 times again, and I would have to say I have it 6-6 or 7-6 for Triple G.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you was watching then.
Watch the later rounds. The later rounds, fucking Triple G outworks him. You gotta go back and watch it again.
I
I watch
watched
3
it
or 4
enough.
fights a day.
Hey,
I watch 3 or 4 fights a day, Stu.
Gonzalo, believe
Boxing, I
it.
watch 3 or 4 fights a day.
Well, that's on you, mate. I got a life to live.
But
Look,
I don't know, man.
Look, I've
You
seen
have
that
to
fight
rewatch it.
enough. I've seen that fight. The thing is with me, I can watch a fight once or twice and score it, and I usually see the same as I saw it the second time as I saw it the first time because I've got eyes. They work. If you see something, you fucking see it. So I saw that fight. And I had Canelo winning, and when I watched it again, I had Canelo winning again by the same distance, but if not, a little bit more comfortably. I mean, I don't know. You can't start scoring shots because they're hitting gloves and guards. A lot of them shots were missing. Canelo was right, fucking catching a lot of those shots, fucking riding the shots and all sorts. He was swinging and missing. So,
No, I respect that. You know what? I respect Canelo, and he's a good fighter. I respect Triple G as well.
No, look, listen. A lot of people saw Golovkin the same as you saw it. So I'm not going to say that you were wrong, but I just didn't see that. I just saw Golovkin getting beat up, and I'm going to be honest.
Hey, what do you guys think about? I mean, there's rewatching a fight. I think it's fine, but people who say you have to rewatch the fight in slow motion. Like, what do you guys think about that?
Nah. That you can.
Yeah,
how much fucking time do you feel I got spare?
Yeah, you can't do that. Like, if you can't do it
I don't
live,
watch 3 or 4 fights a day all the time. Sometimes, not all the. Maybe like once a week or twice.
Look, the thing is that you can start if you watch it too many times. You can start trying to look for things that ain't there.
Yeah.
You can start because you're trying to convince yourself that your guy did better. So you're trying to start to look for things, and you'll see a lot of probably little jab to the fucking side of the body in the hold or something. You'll score that.
But that's interesting, Stu, that you say that because I found out that sometimes when you watch it like later, it's different, and that might be true what you're saying. But I always just found that interesting. But
I always find though. You've got to do it once or twice is enough. When you start doing it 3, 4, 5 times, you're starting to try to convince yourself that your guy won. So you're starting to try and look for things that ain't there, and you're scoring him stuff that are just not scoring shots in the pro game. You've got to keep a fucking clear head. That's why it's best to go into a fight and not have a guy, because you can just watch the fight, enjoy it, lay back, and score the fight properly. But when you're invested in a guy, I'm not saying you was invested in Golovkin. I'm talking about anyone in general. You start to see things that ain't there, and then when you get all these fucking clowns come on YouTube, oh, it's a robbery. No, it weren't. It weren't a fucking robbery. Do you know what I mean? They were seeing things that weren't there, and no one else was seeing. If you get what I'm saying, and that's what you do. You convince
I know that Canelo, he got rocked in the 10th round, and you could give that round to Triple G. But then later, like when I first rewatched it, I gave the 11th and the 12th, I believe, to Canelo. But going back and watching it, it's in the later rounds down the stretch. Now that I think that Triple G won those last rounds after rewatching it.
Hey, Stu, what do you think about people who say UK fighters hate East Europeans?
I love how old are these guys? Do they realise how they sound? Ooh, you don't like me. Ooh. Get the fuck out of here, man. Listen, I'm coming out here to just tell the truth. I do like Eastern European fighters. I was praising Povetkin the other night, saying what a great performance and what a shot it was. I can't lie to you guys. I'm looking at Golovkin's resume. What do you want me to do? Do fucking star jumps in front of you and get all excited about the Proskers of this world? No, I'm not going to. I'm going to tell you what I see in front of me. Average resume, if you ask me. And that's just it. These guys can cry all they fucking like. I don't care.
Well, listen, Stu's never been shy about telling us what he thinks, and this Triple G Canelo business really does split up the boxing fans, because some people like Canelo, some people like Triple G, and Triple G because of the fact that boxing fans, they love a guy who is a monster, but doesn't get the big shot right away. You know what I mean? Like Marvin Hagler. Guys like that, Margarito for a while, he was like that in the welterweight division. People wanted to see him fight Mayweather. Mayweather wanted nothing to do with him. So it's understandable that people like Golovkin, especially since he's such a laid-back guy. He's not a trash
Listen,
talker.
I like Golovkin. I like Golovkin. I'm being honest with you, though.
Yeah,
I was
because
honest
you
with you
hate
when
him.
I said he won the first fight against Canelo. How honest do you want me to be? But then when you look at the rest, Mark just told you what Mark's lying as well. Go through that resume. And when you look at the win, the Jacobs win, very close. I mean, it could have gone either way. I thought he was terrible that night, to be honest with you. I thought he really was. I just thought it was a poor performance. So I wasn't actually doing star jumps over that one either. Then you look at Derevchenko, who looked like fucking... was it Lomachenko in there or Derevchenko? Come on, man. Look.
By the way, can I just say to people in the chat and who listen to this show, BDA Boxing. BDA stands for the Boxing Debate Arena. So we're not always going to agree. So don't get into your feelings and everything just because two saying something you don't agree with, man. That's part of the show.
Yeah, we're not here to pander to anyone.
One thing I really didn't like was when Triple G replaced Abel Sanchez. I gotta say that. Sure.
Yeah, that's
but he wasn't. He wasn't bringing any new ideas to the table. It was just the same old style, old stuff. Go to Big Bear. Don't go to Big Bear. Drain most of your tank in camp. Go into the ring 40% of your best. Look terrible, and move on to the next one. What's it going to be? This is what Golovkin's problem was. I keep telling him, wasting camps. And camps in Big Bear are very hard, you know. Golovkin's never 100% when he's in the ring. He always looks like he's, even at the scales against Cal Brook, he looked like he was about to die. I mean, the guy just never looks well. So that camp was killing him at Big Bear, you know. If you keep
but he's doing
wasting
the same
these
thing
camps
now
on
at the Shane
fucking
Mosley
chump.
camp. He's still up in the mountain.
Who?
Triple G.
Yeah, he might still be up in the mountains, but what I'm saying is that he ain't going to back any fresh. He thinks that being up in the mountains is going to bring this tank back from nowhere. It's not. You know, he's getting slower. The Big Bear's not going to stop him from getting punched in the face by Canelo Alvarez. I can assure you that now.
I mean, he left Abel Sanchez, but he didn't leave Big Bear.
Yeah, because Abel Sanchez had no new ideas. If you're going to carry on fighting, then at least try someone else. See if they can get something out of you. See if they can fucking bring a spark back or something. Because the spark had gone with Abel. You've only got to see some of Abel's corner work lately. Terrible. I mean, have you ever listened to Abel Sanchez in the corner and thought, what a trainer? I haven't.
I think he's more understandable than the corner now? He mumbles a lot. He's not very clear. Then he wants to implement a rhythmic style to Triple G's punches, and I thought he was just better turning over his punches. The power punch of Golovkin.
Look, I don't have the answers for Golovkin right now because, like I said, you can't. Game plans are not going to matter when you're getting punched in the face, like Tyson said.
And he's a bit like Timothy Bradley, where he has his wife running his career now. That's another.
Oh wow, another simp then.
Oh come on! Now you know what? The thing with Triple G is, I've said this before, is he's always been a guy who was very European style in that he would put pressure on you, corner you, and then hit you with one shot here, one shot there, and his power and his precision was such that he could wear you down that way. But now that he's slower, he's not getting in that 1-2 shots in there. So he's missing, he's getting hit more.
Yeah.
And he reminds me a lot of... Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing's coming back, though, when he's getting punched. Like I said, these guys, it's just, all you got to do to beat Golovkin now is just push him back because he can't find the back foot and just throw punches and bunches because he doesn't counter shot anything. He doesn't catch and shit. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't come under shots. He just blocks up and waits for the pause and then throws his own shot, sort of thing. And that's why he's always close now. These guys are winning rounds against him. That's why, because he just can't get out. He's seeing them coming, just can't get out of the way of the fucking things. So
yeah, but backing him up.
That's where we are with Golovkin.
Yeah,
and if he can't get the way of these guys like Derevchenko, Canelo Alvarez is going to be chin checking this guy and clocking him clean every time.
Yeah, but backing him up, it sounds easy to do. To just back him up. I mean, Derevchenko tried it, and look at his face after the fight. So
Derevchenko's not strong enough. Derevchenko's not strong. Didn't have enough pop in his shots. You've got to have pop in his shots. You've got to push him back. And trust me, the guy doesn't fight on the back foot anymore. He used to, not anymore. He has to be coming forward, cutting off the angles, fighting at his own pace. If you take him out of that comfort zone, he starts to struggle. Let's just say Jacobs was doing the same to him. I know Jacobs was a lot on the back foot when I had Golovkin winning that fight, but by a round or two. But Jacobs was doing the same at times, just throwing combinations at him, and nothing was coming back, and that's why it looked like Jacobs was winning the rounds at times.
You know, it might be true.
You're not going to beat him throwing single shots.
Canelo would probably beat Triple G in the third fight, but when Canelo was 25, he avoided. He dropped his belt. He wouldn't fight Triple G. So why should he fight him now past his prime? He should do the same thing as he did to him.
Look, it's a dog world out there in the boxing game, mate. You know, no one deserves anything in this game. The fact that Canelo's fought the guys twice is enough for me. I don't want to see it again, like Mark said. Enough's enough. What is it going to be like, fucking Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta? Are we going to see it 6 times or something?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Once you get the win, it's like when your mate's playing you on the PlayStation. He wants to keep playing you until he gets a victory, innit?
If you called the third fight a rubber match, what do you call the 6th one?
Double rubber match.
For that.
Hey, a death.
You call it a
funeral.
You call it a magnum rubber match. All right, listen. Let's go to. We got a last phone call of the night because we got to go. 585. You're on the air. 585.
How are you doing, Mr. BDA?
Oh, fuck's sake, it's Vinny, innit?
Get the peanut butter out your mouth.
No, come on. Vinny, hold on. Before we continue, shout out to Mark from Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, who just donated a super chat. He says, let's talk facts. The man beat one world champion for a belt, a dude who can't box with a crap haircut. With a crap haircut and a French name. He was white flagged from birth. Well, shout out to Unrivaled. At least we know how he feels about Triple G. He's not holding back. Well, yeah, thank you, Mark, for your contribution. Everybody go check out Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News for all your boxing needs. And Vinny, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Yes, Mr. BDA. I must give a round of applause to Mr. Stuart Little and Mark. They hit it right in the nose. Triple L, I mean, he fought a bum. I mean, he was fighting a bum fest. I think he's the best ever at beating bums. But I must say he's kind of old now, and Canelo would definitely do a number on Triple L.
See, Stu, when you have Vinny on your side, you know you're on the wrong side.
Well,
okay, come on, wait a minute.
I just say my opinion, and whoever's on my side's on my side. It's not like I'm not saying this to pander to Vinny. This is just my opinion. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is what it is. I've got eyes; they work. I've seen his fights. I've seen his resume. There's a lot to pull apart and pick apart on this. You know, if you want to compare him with the greats, you know, then that's on you, man. But he's a top middleweight.
That'd be
he's
crazy.
He's one of the best of our era.
Wiped everybody out. If he wiped out Canelo, if he wiped out the Charlos, that'd be crazy, right? If he came back and had all those fights and he wiped everybody the fuck out.
Yeah, well, we'll have a different conversation then. We'll be having a different conversation after that. That's for sure. But that's not going to happen. Trust me.
Vinny,
he'd probably beat Charlo now, because I think Charlo's there for the taking himself. But he ain't beating Canelo.
So, Vinny, you've never been a Triple G fan. Do you think he can come back and do something last hurrah before he retires?
No, Mr. PDA. I think not only has Triple L descended very rapidly, Derevyanchenko hurt him to the body really bad in that fight, and that's the first time I've ever seen Triple L hurt, besides Canelo. So that's definitely worries me about him, but I think he's pretty much done, and he's looking for a payday.
Well, listen, certainly the fact that he insists on fighting this Sefaraya guy or whatever his name is quite worrisome. I mean, you can't defend that. And anything Triple G says about, it's because he's my mandatory, I promised to fight him, blah, blah, blah. Look, how much are you going to get paid for this? And the zone doesn't want to pay for that, man. So he's in a bit of a rough spot right now. I mean, it's.
I don't want to pay for that.
Exactly. Look, there's not a lot of boxing going on right now, and he wants to spend the one fight he has this year maybe even early next year, against some dude the guy I've
Yeah.
seen him fight. He's not world class. He's not world
Mind
class.
blowing.
It's amazing that Triple
Absolutely
G.
mind blowing, brother.
Yeah. But Vinny,
Yes,
would you?
Mr. BDA?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. I just want to say, in terms of the title you have on YouTube, is Fury overlooking Mr. Wilder? Yes, I do. And I'm going to say this now to the panel and the
Go
whole
ahead.
chat. Once Wilder knocks out Mr. Fury in December, I want you guys to stop and think of one person, and that's Vince.
But wait a minute. What did I say? What happened?
I don't know. He's
Yes,
saying that we have to
BDA,
think
I
about
just
him.
want you guys to stop and
Stop,
think
yeah.
of me, because I predict Mr. Wilder is going to sleep Mr. Fury for his cheating.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, listen, Vinny. I mean, you've been right so far with everything you've said, all your predictions. So when you speak,
No, he hasn't. He picked Wilder to beat Fury. What are you on about? He could predict rain if thunder and lightning was above his head. Get out of here, man.
just let me talk to Vinny, man. Come on. Listen, Vinny, if you're right, we'll give you all the credit. We'll create a special graphic just for you, so that every time you call, we'll put it in there: statues of gold, riverets of diamonds and emeralds and pearls, and it will have your name engraved in all that, and it will say Vinny the Great. How's that sound?
Vinny the Great.
Vinny the Great.
That sounds very, very good. I will definitely take you on that, Mr. BDA. Hopefully, Mr. Wilder doesn't disappoint me, but it's not his fault. It's the Fury's camp, which I blame in the rematch.
Well, listen, that's one.
Vinny's the sort of guy. Vinny's the sort of guy who's got a shrine of himself in his house. You know what I mean?
No, I think he's got a shrine. I think he's got a Pepsi shrine. He said he drinks a lot of Pepsi, or Diet Pepsi, or I forget what. Vinny, what is it that you drink again? A lot of
Diet Pepsi, isn't it?
Diet Pepsi.
I just drink the 12 ounce of Pepsi. I usually stack those in my fridge. I always have those when the big fights come on. I always have a fresh case of Pepsi. It's just a bad habit that I have. I know it's bad, but I like the sensation of it.
He likes the sensation. Okay, that's a sensation. All right, Vinny, thank you for calling in. We gotta go, but thank you for calling in as always, and we'll catch you in the next one. All right.
Thank you. You guys have
Thank
a great night.
You too, man.
See you later, Vinny.
Lay off the Pepsi. All right, so he likes the sensation of the Pepsi. I've never heard anybody say they like the sensation of something. Like, oh, I like the sensation.
Sorry, BD.
Strange
That the
character,
Diet
that
Pepsi,
Vinny.
that the Diet Pepsi was more crisp than the regular Pepsi. I had a platoon sergeant that always used to drink
Gonzalo, sorry.
Gonzalo,
There's
your
a lot of your mic. There's a lot of ruffling in there.
It fucking sounds like you spilt some Pepsi on your fucking mic, man.
Sounds like he was flying. All right, go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Just talking about.
No, you were saying you had a drill sergeant that loved to drink Pepsi, I think you said?
A platoon sergeant. He used to drink a lot of Diet Pepsi, and he used to take it out to the desert when I was stationed in Fort Wayne, California. It's halfway between Las Vegas and Barstow. It's in the desert, and this guy always used to drink fucking Diet Pepsi, and he got the whole platoon drinking. And it tastes really crisp. I think it tastes better than fucking regular Pepsi.
It's fucking horrible stuff, man.
Hey, listen, I'm not much of a pop soda guy anymore either. That's how you know I'm old, by the way, because I call it pop soda. All right, listen, fellas.
Sometimes I drink the Monster.
You know, Diet Pepsi's bad when it ruins your vodka.
Do you guys drink the energy drinks like the Monsters? I think.
No, I don't, mate. No,
I used to.
I don't.
Stopped a long time ago. That's so bad, man.
You look like a guy who drink a lot of Monsters, Bucho.
Yeah, no, but that fucks you up, man.
That's not good for you. That is not good for you. I've had to cut down on my coffee
with alcohol in the clubs, Bucho. You seem like a guy.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Yeah, with vodka. And you're not supposed to mix it with alcohol. It says in the back.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it makes you like feel like you're on drugs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There was a guy named Darnell Wilson. I don't know if you guys remember him, the Dingling Man. That was his nickname. Perhaps the worst nickname I've ever heard. But he was a cruiserweight. He was a cruiserweight, and he used to score. He didn't have a great record. He used to fight on ESPN Friday Night Fights a lot, and he was very short for a cruiserweight, and he would get outboxed very often. But man, if he caught you, it was lights out. And this guy, in an interview, he said that there was a point where he was drinking a lot of energy drinks. But back then, it was the mid 2000s, early 2000s. Most people really didn't know what they were.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so he was going around drinking that stuff. He was like drinking 3 or 4 a day. And then he started
Yeah,
feeling like,
I know people are addicted to them. I know people are
Yeah.
addicted to them.
right. But he thought it was because they would give him energy. So he started drinking 2, 3 a day. The big ones, he said, the biggest ones they had. And he started feeling like crap, lethargic, no energy. He thought he was dying at some point. So he went to the doctor, or somebody told him, it's because you're drinking these things. I mean, they're killing your glands. Or I forget what they were, like his receptors, like serotonin.
Yeah, that stuff. Hey, have you seen what that stuff does to a coin? Stick a coin in a glass of Coke. It'll fucking clean that coin up like it's brand new, man. That acid on that. Yeah, but all you guys, next time you get a bit of fucking Coke, not the diet, just a normal Coke, put a coin in the glass and watch what it does to the coin. It fucking brings it out. It's brand new, man. That stuff's going in your stomach. And you got to remember, in America, when they go to McDonald's, they ask for a Coke. Their cups are huge, man. We only get little fucking little cups. They get fucking huge ones, man. So you can imagine what they're drinking over. That shit can't be good, man.
Yeah, and here in Canada, if you go to the store, you can get like 2-3 different types of Monster energy drinks, like the cherry and that. But like a friend of mine, and a friend of Bucho actually as well, knows the guy. He went to the United States, and he took a picture and sent it to us of everything they got over there. This isn't the picture, by the way, but I mean, this just goes to show you. They got the fucking Monster juice, they got the energy, they got the assault, it's incredible. They got a dozen of those out there. It's the United States.
What happened to the guy, BDA, that you were talking about?
The Dingaling man? Well, he stopped drinking them, and he stopped drinking them, and he went back to normal. Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was gonna die or something.
No. Well, he thought he was. Yeah, he croaked. No, he died because he started drinking Red Bull instead of Monster energy drink. But
is that the same as like the Mandingo man, the nickname? Is that what it means?
I don't think so. I think the Mandingo, isn't that some sort of like slave thing or something? The nickname, no? Anyway, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't. All I know is there was a movie named Mandingo, and it was about a slave guy. So I don't know why they would call it. And I really don't know where Mandingo comes from. But listen, fellas.
Sounds like a fucking porno star, doesn't it?
Well, there was a porn guy, named Mandingo.
Or something.
Listen, I think this is as good a time as any to end this. Once we start talking about porn, there's no going back. Like we gotta end it now.
No, time to call it a day.
Yeah, but look, great conversation. We covered a lot of topics.
Wasn't it Amir Khan fucking taking pictures of his fucking penis and putting it online?
Gonzalo just had to knock down the level or two, didn't
he? Yeah.
Fucking pervert, fucking weirdo.
Well, he didn't know they were.
I just saw that on the internet the other day.
Why would you do that, man? Yeah, but he didn't know they were gonna get. He didn't know they were gonna get hacked. By the way,
who cares about Khan, man?
Well, apparently he does. One hitter says,
I don't care about that guy.
Well, too bad, because the next episode it was gonna be all about Khan. So if you don't want to show up for that one,
yeah, I probably won't be here for that one then.
Hey, by the way, one hitter says adrenal fatigue is what you get from too much caffeine. I think that's what he meant to say, caffeine. Wow. Yeah, I think so. Adrenal fatigue. It's the adrenal glands. They get all screwed up and dried up. All right, listen, fellas. This Saturday, we got a much anticipated fight between Victor Postol and Jose Ramirez. It's going to be fantastic, man. It's going to be a great fight. Ramirez, Taylor is considered the number one guy, but Ramirez is right there, man. And if he beats Postol and manages to do and stop him and do something that neither Crawford nor Taylor could do, it's going to send a message. So that's going to be a great fight. Butcher, we're probably going to do a show.
Yeah, can I add something to that real quick, BDA?
We'll talk about it.
Sorry. Taylor's fighting on the 26th as well, and I think he's with Top Rank, so I think they're going to be looking to do a unification fight if fucking Ramirez...
I hope so.
That would be one of those top 5 fights I would want to see, man, in boxing right now. That's got to be right up there, man. Taylor versus Ramirez. But then again, like Ramirez has to get past Postol, and if we do a preview show, probably...
Yeah, we'll do a countdown. I want to do a countdown.
Yeah, either the Friday or if you're going to do a countdown, it's probably on Saturday. So we'll see. But obviously, we'll create an event for it before so you guys know. And subscribe so you can get the notifications if you haven't done so already. And that's about it, man. I want to thank Tszyu. I want to thank Gonzalo. I want to thank Mark from Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. I want to thank Jimmy, too, who showed up for a while. for joining us. It was a very good discussion. It's been a while since I've been on the show, so it was quite refreshing to get back to boxing and talk with you guys. Very enjoyable. So thank you for being on.
Hey, what's happened to Recognize? I'm worried that I might put on fucking banged up abroad Recognizes on it or something.
You know
where is that guy, man?
You know what? My first thing is I'm this type of person that I always think the worst, and so that's what happened to me with Recognize. But because I sent him a message on Discord a while back, a couple of weeks ago, says, "Hey, what's up, man? Just checking in, see if everything's okay." He never answered. Now the last time, one of the last few times he'd been here, he had said that he had shut off Discord because he was getting too many notifications. He didn't know how to turn them off. But he never answered back my comments, so that might have been because he's not on Discord anymore. But yeah, I'm a little concerned too, man, because it's unlike him to be. It's the first time he's been missing. Yeah. At least when you were missing, you let us know. Hey, look, I'm gonna take a break or something. But he just
exactly, man. I'll keep in touch with Butch and yourself and tell you what's going on. But like I said, I hope Recognizes all right because got a lot of time for that guy, man.
Yeah, man. He's a great guy to have on the show, and I think I have his email address, so I'm gonna try to join him through there, contact him through there, see if he can come back, or I mean, see if he's okay. First of all, first and foremost. So,
he might have the COVID, and he might have a respirator.
Nah, why are you gonna jump? Yeah, because someone has to jump to the. Maybe he's got AIDS, and he's a fucking 100 weighs 100 pounds now. It's like I got.
Well, they got a lot of that in New York. COVID.
Nah, I don't think he's got COVID. I would doubt he had the COVID. I would doubt he had the COVID. The guy's in his 40s. He's in great shape from what he's told us. So, and he sounds like he's in great shape too. So I very much doubt he would have the COVID. But yeah, I'm gonna try to reach out to him via another source, another platform, so we can see what's up. I also want to thank Virtuoso, Chris K, G Boogie, Kenshiro, Chet Collins, and Mark from Arrival Boxing Talk for their contributions via the super chat. Guys, thanks a lot, man. You really helped us out with that, paying for the Block Talk bills and the Spreaker. You don't forget, you can check us out on Spreaker and on Spotify now. The shows, you can download them there, listen to them, stream them there. So go check them out. And that's about it. Again, thank you, fellas, the panelists, for joining us. And thanks to everybody also. Okay. Tony Yaya says, recognize the political prisoner. Political prisoner, where, like
Scarface there.
Like Scarface.
Tony Montana. Political prisoner.
I want to give a shout out to
Tony Montana, isn't it?
Yeah, like
political prisoner from Cuba.
I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room: Hawker Mustang, Tito Toledo, Andres Fernandez, Transnational Inc., Shepherd of Sons, Israel Diaz, White Devil, One Hitter, Triple JJJ, Just Don't Cry, Schizoid Man, Subash Kunwar, Official Scorecard Boxing, Real Jimmy Mack, Dodge 172, Claudio Monreal, Kevin from Chicago who called in as well, Elias Turefix, Triple JJJ, You Big Dummy too. And if I forgot anybody, Vince Vegas, shout out to Vince Vegas. Thank you very much, guys. If I forgot anybody, I gotta go. But thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next one, folks. Take it easy.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in everyone. Totally disappointed in everyone.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in everyone.
Let me tell you why. It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He's just getting a little fucking mad.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lomito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.